This is like Golden Nugget Day. And I don't mean at McDonald's. Good afternoon to you, Big Sills, on a big day and on a big week in the NFL. The Underwear Olympics is about to commence. Now, the real storylines are behind the scenes. Yes, indeed. Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni already trickling out little nuggets for Big Sills to eat. Man, this is great stuff. Please hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. How you doing? And by the way, at 3:30, we will have Doug Pederson, the former head football coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, with us. Little special nugget for you. Got some pretty good questions to ask him. That'll be at 3:30 Eastern time. Make sure you set your clocks, your watches, your phones, your tablets. I don't care what else. We are going to be talking to Doug. That'll be at 3:30. We will be talking to our friend. So I'm looking forward to that. We got a confirmation yesterday, and also we got a confirmation on him. Want to double check that just to be dang sure there with old Dougie Pederson. Absolutely. So Doug's going to be with us. That'll be, again, at 3:30 Eastern time. So we're looking forward to that. All right. So A.J. Brown, as we have been predicting, A.J. Brown, Nick Sirianni asked, and I'll paraphrase, I can't guarantee he's back in 26. The future of A.J. Brown. The door is ajar, as we've been telling you. Hey, some of these people here think that A.J.'s coming back. I don't. Okay, you don't go into the combines saying you're open for business. We said it yesterday. No, oh, really? Sue, you knew that. Bullshit. All of you in here said he ain't going nowhere. Bullshit. Bullshit. Most of you in here said he ain't going nowhere. Okay? No. You ain't walking shit back. Oh, it's obvious? Oh, it's obvious. I thought everything was already like, wait, there's no chance he's being moved because he's in the money. Okay? Yeah, right, flexing. Hey, get this guy. Nah. Ain't working. Open for business. Open for business. Don't use big words on Sills. What's that? Like, hypothesize? How you doing? We told your ass. Open for business. Oh, and by the way, the head football coach comes out and says, yeah. Okay? Yeah. All the things that we had said, too. Once again, we're starting out this offseason, again, right on the nail. Bang! 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 You'll hear it here. 2 days later, you'll hear it there. We'll give you a little insight on Jalen Phillips, too, on what he's thinking about with the Philadelphia Eagles, because we had a pretty good conversation with Drew Rosenhaus as he was on his way to Indianapolis and St. Elmo's to have lunch and dinner with Howie Roseman. Lunch, Jalen Phillips. Dinner, Jalen Carter. So let's get into it. How you doing? It's not definite. No shit. Eagles are listening to offers for A.J. Brown. So I thought, wait a minute here. And by the way, Howie's doing this right. We don't get rid of great players. That's not how you get better. He's doing the right thing here by making sure the value of the player doesn't diminish. He's absolutely correct to say this. This guy's a pro at what he does. He really is. He's really good at being in the position right now. And how here, We can't keep all of, and here's another little nugget. We can't keep all of our guys coming off rookie deals. No, we're going to have to make choices. Howie Roseman. So we got a bunch here today. Hit the like button. We appreciate each and every single one of you. As we said, Doug Pederson will be with us at 3:30. We're going to talk to the legendary coach who delivered your first Super Bowl here in the city of brotherly love. All right. So what will move the needle for the Eagles to move A.J. Brown? I think they want to be fair to A.J. Brown. They could easily move him to the Browns. The Browns need a wideout. Do you want to send A.J. Brown to Shedeur Sanders? Is that where A.J. wants to finish his career? Is with the Cleveland Browns? I would think not. Especially since, get this, A.J. Brown has been the best wide receiver in Philadelphia Eagle history. There's nobody better than him. He will leave here mission accomplished. If this is his final year this past season, mission accomplished. He delivered every single thing, broke every record, was a sensational ball player. No question. 2 Super Bowl appearances, a win, records out the ass. The best receiver in the history of the franchise. Okay? Best ever. Now, again, talking about the best player that's ever played the position, that's Terrell Owens. But the best career, even though it's a short, brief career, longevity-wise, obviously it's Mike Quick. But A.J. Brown is the most accomplished wide receiver in Philadelphia Eagle history. Okay? Get this. Devontae Smith, being a 2, is the greatest wide receiver in Eagle history. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Like, nobody believes that. Okay? Nobody believes that. Nobody on the planet. The best receiver in the history of the Eagles is a number 2. Sure, guy. Sure. If A.J. Brown wants out, he ain't picking where he's going. Fuck that. Best deal gets him. Okay? A realist. Not a hater. I don't give a shit either way, Flex. You got me wrong, dude. I don't give a shit either way. The same thing last year. Howie basically said if the offer was good enough. Yeah, but the head football coach didn't say, I can't guarantee. I'll read you the fucking quote, guy. I posted it on Twitter or on X. I'll give you exactly what he said. Exactly what he said. And he was asked the question, here. And this is Nick Sirianni. Okay? Sirianni was asked. He goes, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. Will AJ be here next season? I think we're still in a spot like I can't guarantee how things are going to play out for this coming season. I can't tell you or guarantee that he's back. How you doing? Angry about what? Sports talk, Prince? Yeah, okay. I got other things I could be angry about, guy. Sports talk, that ain't one of them. This all stems back to Hurts' inability to throw on time. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Sills hating is why Jalen Hurts is the top most hated player in the league. Yeah, it's me. I'm the reason that Hurts is the most hated guy in football. Yeah, that's right. It's me. Sills, we all know. Hey, by the way, Prince, don't get your panties in a bind because reality's starting to come to a head here that your boy may not be here, and it looks like he won't be here. Don't get your panties in a bind, guy, that we were right again. Sills, we all know that Howie asks and listens about everyone. Yeah, you're missing it, Bob. The head coach is saying he's not sure he's here. When have you ever heard Nick Sirianni say that you're not sure the player's going to be here. I know Howie's a car salesman. I get it. I'm not talking about Howie. I'm talking about Nick. By the way, both had to be talked back into playing. We weren't wrong. They had to be talked back into playing. That signal to stop them. Okay? Sills, money talks. So do draft picks. Okay? What Central American country name is, wrong show, man. You must be looking for the Democrat thing that's going to be like boycotting tonight. That's more your lane over there. I think you'd be more suited over there. I know, Sills. Nick opened his mouth and gave away leverage. There you go, Bob. I can't guarantee that he'll be here. Oh, okay. Eagles met with Harold Parkins. Was he the linebacker you talked about 2 years ago? Bingo. Bingo. Way to keep. Hey, Kyle, I appreciate you more than you know. Not that you all only contribute, but that you keep receipts for big Sills. I can't thank you enough. Because what these people will do is try to change the narrative. Like they loved Hurts when he was drafted. And now everybody's a big Jalen Hurts fan. They call it flip-flopping. You want to know flip-flopping? Go back to draft day when you guys drafted Hurts. Go back and ask yourselves, are you lying? Like Flexen would say? I bet you Flexen's lying. I love the pick. It was the best pick in the history of the National Football League. I couldn't believe we picked our quarterback. How you doing? Yeah, okay. Never. Well, I'm not buying it. AJ was not considered an elite receiver until he came to Philadelphia. How many second-team All-Pros? He got how many 1,000-yard seasons? Eagle records in Super Bowl. He had 1,000-yard seasons in Tennessee. You must not have looked those numbers up. He just wasn't the focal point. The focal point of those Tennessee teams was the running back. The running back was the focal point of those teams. He wanted to be the focal point. And when he initially got here, he was. When they added Saquon Barkley, he was back to his role and being the guy who was second seed to a running back. He was second seed to a running back in Tennessee, and now he's a second seed to a running back in Philadelphia. Boy, we got a lot of good nuggets coming out today, boy. I'll tell you. Let's see here. Flexen been saying trade to Diva for like a year. Really? Okay. So on the other hand, never admit when he's wrong. Yes, I have. It's very seldom, but yes, I have. Yes, I have. By the way, what a big day for Sills. Today I talked to Marcus Erickson, a former F1 driver and IndyCar driver. Now I'm going to be talking to Doug Pederson. Talked to Will Powers on Friday. Talked to Jim Lampley over the weekend. We are just killing it, man. All the big stars come to our shows. How you doing? Says a lot of groundwork will be done on a Brown trade this week in Indy. Yes. DFW, who I killed when he first came here, is turning out to be a spectacular sports guy. And I enjoy talking to this guy. This guy's good, man. He will be traded either at the beginning of free agency or at the draft. I like this guy. This guy's turning out to be like spectacular. Good for you, dude. Seals, I think Howie will move quick on AJ. Howie likes to set the market, and other moves could diminish AJ's trade value. I think you're going to get more leverage as you get closer to. I agree with DFW. I think you get more leverage as you get closer to the draft because you're going to have more teams because free agency is not very good this year. Pickens is going to get tagged. And then what other wide receivers out there? Here, let me look. So wide receiver wise, here's AJ's value. Let's see. Pickens is going to get tagged. So you could take his ass off the board. The Cowboys aren't letting him loose. What's the next big wide receiver that's going to be on the open market? This is why A.J. Brown's going to be and maybe the Eagles are going to get exactly what they – Romeo Doubs is the second best receiver after Pickens. Dude. And then you got Juan Jennings. A.J. Brown is going to be an enormous haul for the Eagles if they do this right. He'll get an enormous haul. Because free agency, I mean, Romeo Doubs after Pickens? No way. No way. Hey, Sills, what positions will Howie attack in free agency? According to what I'm hearing out of him, he's Temu shopping again. We'll hit on that. Okay? If AJ doesn't want to restructure, they're not trading him. I think AJ does want to restructure and does want out. Yeah, guess what? And you say the most predictable shit. When Brown is gone, redo Smith's contract and front load to relieve cap. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But wait a minute. 401. Why not go do that with Hurts's contract? Why not do that with... This is all hypothetical? I heard your coach say today, I can't guarantee you're fucking bringing him back. What do you mean hypothetical? Your head football coach said, I can't guarantee he's back. It's in fucking quotes. Stop lying. Man, stop lying. Says we ain't going to replace this guy for years. We already struggled for years to find a wide receiver. Now we want to get rid of the best wide receiver you had in years. Actually, the best wide receiver you've ever had. You ain't hearing shit. You're not plugged into anybody in Philly. Man, shut the fuck up. You're getting cooked already, buddy. Really? Who, me? Well, Doug Pederson's coming on at fucking 3:30. You could talk to his ass. And we'll ask him if the Eagles reached out to him about joining the coaching staff. What do you think he's going to say? I already told you months ago that the Eagles had reached out to Frank Reich, and all of a sudden now it's news that it was close that Frank was joining. He even said it here. Plugged in. Hey, Deshae, how you doing? Definitely getting cooked. Why? Because here, this is why these guys are saying I'm getting cooked. Watch this. Nick Sirianni. Will AJ be here next year? I think we're still in a spot I can't guarantee how it's going to play out this season. That's cooked. That's fucking fact, guy. Cooked. Why? With truth? Justice? And the Big Sills way? Easy to replace a guy who drops passes deliberately and causes distraction and cries for the ball in the media. Okay? Easy to replace that guy. It's not. Sills, if DJ Moore gets traded before AJ, will it help or help AJ's value? AJ's a better player. I think the free agent market helps AJ. Sirianni said, no job is good. That's not what he said. Holy shit, these guys were addressed. Hey, listen, you can make all that bullshit all you want. Okay? You can spin it any way you want, spin doctors. All good. Fucking crazy. You want to hear what you want to hear. A.J. Brown was the only guy with the balls to speak the truth about the damn offense last year. Absolutely. Let's see. You stupid if you think A.J. will be replaced. I don't. A.J. was nobody before he came to the Birds. This organization was black. If he was a nobody, why'd you trade a 1 for him? Why'd you trade a 1 for him and give him $30 million? If he was the nobody. You traded to Tennessee a first-round pick for a nobody? Solid take. Okay? If Howie's going to Timu again, it is somebody getting an extension. Like who? So it's your take on Akeem Messidor. I think he's a fabulous player. He's got a great motor. He was underrated and overlooked because of Bain's greatness. He's a really good football player. I like him. As a matter of fact, if you look at the edges that have come out of Miami over the last 10 years, all of them are playing in the league. You had Jalen Phillips. You got the kid up in Rousseau, who's playing at Buffalo. So the edge rushers that Miami has had over the last couple of years have all panned out to be great. Harold Carmichael was overrated. Nick said he can't guarantee AJ's back, nor could he guarantee he'd be the head coach. Can't guarantee anything beyond tomorrow. What is he, a prophet? Who's he? Confucius? Confucius Nick. Or maybe confused Nick. How about confused Nick? We sucked before AJ, you all tripping, but hey, listen, he is the best player. That's correct. That's probably more so. That's right. If Messidor wasn't 25 years of age, he'd go higher. But he's going to go at the lower end of the first round, maybe into the top end of the second round because he's 25. Talking about a 7-year career where I think he could be very productive for you. Not really. I don't really think any quarterback is worth a shit in this draft. And that includes the top pick. Hey, I'll tell you, bro. You don't have to fucking guess. Ask a question. Carson Beck, he was a dude. He was a decent college player. I don't know. He's like Stetson Bennett. He's one of them guys. Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck, same guy. So I think AJ's gone. So do I. It's been brewing for years. If we can get back what we gave, you're not, yeah, well, yeah, you know what? Because of free agency, I think you are going to get, like, if you trade him to Buffalo, you're going to get a 1. If you trade him to New England, you're going to get a 1. AJ and Hurts. Hurts $50 million a year, and still it's about you and not the team. Wow, how much money does it take to put team first? AJ and Hurts $50 million a year, and still it's about you. Like, are you talking about Jalen? I don't think Jalen thinks that way. But if you're saying AJ does feel that way. AJ wants the offense to go through him. I told you this. I told you this 2 years ago. As long as Saquon Barkley is on this football team, 2 guys will not have the numbers that they'll ever want. A.J. Brown will always be in the rear view of a running back, and Jalen Hurts will never have elite numbers as long as they run the ball. He'll never have elite numbers. He has never had a 6-year career so far. As a passer, as a runner, he's had elite numbers. He's a better quarterbacks. He's one of the top. Okay, well, it's about time you drafted the guy 10th. AJ just being on the field made it better. Yes. Smitty has a 1 with Cooper and Wilson is a joke. Passing game will struggle with those 3 guys. And we legit won us 2 NFC championships because of the attention. Correct. Yes. AJ just being, yes, that's correct. I'd like to see him at Buffalo. low-key just to see what AJ could do with a bona fide quarterback throwing him the rock. And we get a 1 for him, obviously. Yes, I agree with that. By the way, I would say this for sure. If you trade his ass to Buffalo or New England, you're getting a 1. I think the free agent market is going to help without a doubt. Okay? I completely believe that. Sales, Nick makes 0 sense. If the job is not guaranteed, why does he play risk averse? People who believe they might not have a job usually let it rip. Nick knows he's safe. I know. I believe he's safe too. I believe he's safe. I do. He won't be going to New England. Why? First round pick? Sending him to Drake May and out of the conference? Here's what I would do to AJ. Okay? Here's what I would do. Personally, I'd send him out of the conference if I could. And I'd send him to a winner and get me a first rounder. You mean to tell me I'd have the 30th pick or the 28th pick and the 23rd pick? I can maybe box that up, move down. Hey, if I got the 31st pick, think about this. If I got the 31st pick, I'd move down and out into the second and maybe get a 1 for next year. Okay? I don't know what's going on here with the mute. I don't know. I have no idea. We're not muted anywhere. Okay? The audio's off? Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say here. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's on them. Thank you, Mikey. Okay. Refresh what? You refresh. Audio's, dude, there's nothing wrong with our audio. I hear you. Yeah, we're good. Let's see here. Let's go back up here. You're good, Sales. Viewers got to refresh. Yeah, that's on their ass, not me. Let's see. Sales, we're talking to people in the chat, dummy. Oh, okay. Dummy. Way to go, flexing. So, hey, Sue taking shots? Sue's all right with me, man. Sue's all right with me. Where's Prince? It's YouTube, not the dumbass. Yeah. I refreshed it shitty YouTube lately. How you doing? Of course, too, and we're going to get Doug Pederson on at 3:30. Yeah, of course, right? So today they decided to do that. All right, so hey, so let me give me a thumbs up. Can you guys hear us here? I want to know if we're talking to anybody or not. Yeah, make sure, no, not me, dude. There's nothing we can do. Prince, you got me right. All right, good. For me, I'm doing the deal. All right. Loud and clear. Thank you, Bob. All good. All right. Yeah. So listen, I'm trading to a team that helps me get a 1, potentially a 3, and maybe a 5. If I could get a 1, 3, or 5, okay, for me, that's what I'm doing. AJ is staying in Philly. Big sales for DC. How you doing? Amen. So if AJ leaves, Sills, what's the route you think the Eagles will take to find a replacement? I know it's tough to replace AJ, but what the fuck, I mean, what I would do, Eduardo, I'd go in the draft. that would change your draft philosophy. You have to go in the draft in the second round. I'd go in the draft and in the second round. And you could get him on a rookie deal. So you get the guy in a rookie deal. Look how many great players have gone in the second round. All right? By the way, we got a little bit of insight. I spoke to Adam Kaplan again, and some stuff came out in the last couple days about Jeff Stoutland. I'll let you know here a little bit more too. Just because Nick said he doesn't know if AJ will be here, I don't think that means anything because Nick's influence is about gone. I don't believe Nick's influence is gone at all. I think they're pushing their chips all in on Nick. I definitely try to secure another pick in a future draft and try to trade up for Jeremiah Smith in 27. That's what I would do. If I'm going to trade a pick, let's do this. If I trade a pick, and let me say this to you, okay? Here, think about this. How many people believe that New England's going to make a step back? Let me see the current draft order. NFL draft order. I'm going to show you a philosophy here. NFL draft order. Okay. Seattle Seahawks are picking last. New England's 31. Denver's 30. Rams are 29. Houston Texans are 28. San Francisco's 27. Buffalo's 26. And Chicago is 25. Okay. Jacksonville, by the way, is 24. How about you do this? Trade A.J. Brown to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Trevor Lawrence. You get that 24th pick. You trade out of the draft for that 24th pick out of the first round. You pick up a first-round pick in the 27 draft. And you're banking on the Jags to take a step back and not be as good. Potentially, remember, they went from 4 wins also to like 13 wins. And all of a sudden, that pick could potentially be a top 10 pick. You feel me? Trade AJ to Jacksonville. They need a wideout on the other side of Thomas. Right? You put him on the other side of Thomas. What else do they have? You got Travis Hunter. They didn't have Travis Hunter all year. So you would have Travis Hunter, A.J. Brown, and that kid Thomas from LSU. You'd be banking on that the Jags will step backwards. You trade out. You trade for a first rounder in 27. Dude, that pick could turn into being a top 10 pick. Like, you might want that pick in 27. Or how about this? You trade him to the Patriots, or actually you take that Patriots 31st pick. Hell, dude, that Patriots 31st pick, you trade out of the first round, and you trade with a team up in the high, like the Raiders, the Jets, the Cardinals, Titans. You trade with one of those teams, and you trade your first-round pick that you got from New England to one of those teams, and in 27, you end up getting a first-round pick that could be a top 10 pick. Then you're talking about going after Jeremiah Smith. Pat stepped back. They got a schedule next year like we had this year. Yeah, I think they trade back. I think they're going to step backwards. Seals, New England steps back because they will be playing a first-place schedule, easier to hunt than be hunted. Correct. Was never high on Thomas nor Harrison. Thomas had a great year. Let me double-check that. Kim. I thought Thomas had a great year for Jacksonville. I thought he played pretty well this year. I may be wrong. Let's see. You're right. Thomas had 707. and only 48 catches in 14 games. You're right. As a matter of fact, I can't believe that. Trevor Lawrence threw for 4,000 yards with not one wide receiver over 900 yards. Parker Washington, 847, 707, 540. Wow. Trevor Lawrence threw for $4,000 and 30 touchdowns with no 1,000-yard receiver. That's pretty incredible. He had a better season than I thought. Trade AJ to the Raiders. Raiders are not trading their number 1 overall pick. How many picks do the Raiders have in the first round? Yeah, you're not getting the first pick in the draft for AJ Brown. You'd have to send more. You'd have to send 1, a 3, and a 5 to get the first round pick. AJ Brown for the number 1 overall. Raiders need a quarterback. Eagles schedule as a first place schedule since we played in the Super Bowl in 22. You didn't have a first place schedule in 2024. You didn't win the division in 20. Did you win the division in 23? I thought the Cowboys won the division in 23. Didn't the Cowboys win the division in 23? Wait, 22. There we go. Bro, what's going on here with the internet today? YouTube's all over the joint. I bet you this. It's got to be the weather. It's got to be the weather you guys are going through right now. Okay? Got you, bro. We're good. I can understand that. You know what? To me, yeah, I'm with you, dude. Today, I mean, the weather in the East Coast is brutal. That's when, yeah, Dak said that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I remember. Yeah, what weather? Well, you must not be looking at the New England area, bro. Blame the weather controllers. Kim says trade AJ to the Browns. They have a lot of picks. Yes. Still's blaming the East Coast Wi-Fi from California's nuts. How you doing? Yeah. They know Doug's coming out probably. Hey, that word Bob Lang. Yeah. All right. So, hey, dude. So give me, hey, John McMullen straddling the fence on AJ being traded. I'm saying 80-20. He's being traded. I'm not afraid of shit. 80-20. What's the percentages you think he's gone? Then we're going to move on. Bob Lang messing with the Wi-Fi from Indianapolis. What do you think the odds are? I got 80-20. Of course, man, I bring the best on for you guys. Yeah, you know what I felt? I got to tell you, I had a whole bunch of people, Jim Lampley on, Tim Kirchin, all these guys on my Sports Grid show. And I said, you know what we need, man? Hang on here. I got to make sure that homies in Philly get somebody. So, Dougie P, how you doing? He's like, I'm in. 70-30. Less than 100%. Guaranteed AJ gone. AJ to the Raiders. AJ to the Raiders for a third in 2026 and a 1 in 27. I like that thinking, David. David, I like that. Give me a third rounder in the one you lost, and I'll do the 1 in 27. And then if I have to move off for Hurts, I'll have 2 1s. And the Raiders will still suck, and you'll get a top 10 pick. That's the way to think. That's thinking, David. That's thinking. That's how you build your team and retool your team. And you might find yourself a top offensive tackle like you did years ago when Lane Johnson was the 4th pick in the draft. That's smart thinking. I would want the Raiders too. Now a 2 and a 1 for AJ might be a little rich. So I think you're right. I think that's the deal. Hey, Raiders, can you imagine AJ Brown with Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty? And if this kid can be anything, Fernando Mendoza, that might look pretty decent. AFC West would look good. How about that? AJ Brown, and you would have Brock Bowers, AJ Brown, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, and Fernando Mendoza. And you'd have Clint Kubiak calling plays. All right. If I'm the Raiders, I'd do that. But would the Eagles do that? Would the Eagles do that? That means you'd get 2 threes? I like that. AJ's jealous of Bowers and Genty getting touches. Now, AJ's going to want to go in there, and he's going to want to show he's a teammate. AJ will fill up those seats in Vegas. Can you imagine AJ in Vegas? Oh, man. That's must-see TV. I might have to call the Raiders up. That's must-see TV. And you know what the Eagles have building their offense around? Devontae Smith, what's his name? Something Cooper, Darius Cooper. What's the other guy? Johnny Wilson. And Grant Calcaterra. That's a new offense in Philly. Grant Calcaterra playing tight end. Darius Cooper is your number 2. Devontae Smith 1. And the great, hey, shit, you might be forced to sign Jahan Dotson. Pretty good. Let's see. How did he do this last year, Darius Cooper? He's pretty good? Well, let's take a look at that. How good was Darius Cooper? This guy says he was pretty good. How good was Darius Cooper? Let me see here. Oh, yeah. 9 catches, 92 yards. He was pretty good. Man. Dude has been an issue in Tennessee, beefing with the GM and now this. Wherever you go, there you are. AJ, a head case. There you go, Brandon. Start bringing that Philly hate out, man. That's what I'm talking about. What is your take on my super? You lagged out. Let me see, Tyler. Let me get back here. I learned how to scroll back, by the way. Okay, let me see here. Bob Lang messing with Wi-Fi. Okay, I didn't get that one. Here you go, Tyler. Thank you, bro. Can Cousins help Hurts learn anything? Worth a look? I'm keeping AJ until 4-4, no worse. If you trade AJ, it has to be for a defensive equivalent draft O-line. Let's see, free agency. There's really hey, when Trey Hendrickson is rated by Pete Prisco as the second best defensive and free agent prospect and the second best prospect, your free agency class blows. Okay? Hey, by the way, guys like AJ Brown, this is the perfect year to trade him. You know why? The draft stinks and free agency stinks. I mean, I'm cool with Goddard coming back. Yo, had Seals rereading that. Whatever, guy. Well, you don't like the fact that we called it that AJ would be traded? Shit, this was inevitable. You know when it became inevitable? When Jeffrey Lurie went down on the field, told him to shut the hell up. You want out? I'll make it happen. Okay? Like I told you, just like your quarterback. What about AJ for Crosby in a 2027 first round pick swap? No way. I don't want Max Crosby. Max Crosby's a good player. You don't need him. You re-sign Jalen Phillips and you keep hoping that Jalen Hunt continues to grow. I'm not interested in that. You're a better football team without him. Your defense wasn't the problem. AJ will cook this year with that, noodle arm quarterback? Yeah, the reading of the defenses. Steelers aren't letting Gainwell leave the building. They shouldn't. He had a really great year with them. Or Detroit. Texas boy. Actually, these Texas guys, these Cowboy fans, are turning out to be pretty good in here. Trade A.J. Brown and have nobody to replace him. Yeah, Eagles do that and be a joke in the NFC East. Damn. Calling you a joke. Hey, you trade A.J. Brown, boy. I can't wait to see this shit. That's for damn sure. I can't. I can't wait to see this. Dude, this is wonderful content. This is just classic. Wait, look at this. I got a shitload of stuff here. Don't forget, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Doug Pederson. Says, how about AJ to the Raiders for either wide receiver Jack Beck or Trey Tucker in a 2027 first rounder? You know, I like that other deal. I'll trade you A.J. Brown for a third round in 26 and a first round in 27. The Raiders' first round pick. I like that deal. I want that deal. Give me a 3 this year. I'll trade you A.J. By the way, A.J.'s got to redo his contract for me to work too. Because I'm not eating that on my cap, or I'm not sending you anywhere, kid. And I'll make you miserable as much as you possibly will ever think of. As a matter of fact, A.J., we have now come to the conclusion, if you want us to be a dick, I'll turn you into the number 2 wide receiver on this football team right now and use you as a decoy all year long if you don't restructure that contract, if you want out so bad. And if you don't, shut the fuck up and play. Pick one. We're open to both. That's how I treat that player, and I guarantee you, that's how Jimmy Johnson would treat that player. He'd look at him in the face and go, I'm going to be fair with you here. And as fair as I can be, okay? I'll send you. You got to redo that deal because we're not eating that cap, okay? And I'll send you to a fair place so both get something out of this. Now, if you don't want to restructure your contract, sit your fucking whiny ass down. And I'm going to turn your ass into a number 2. You'll never, ever be considered the number 1 in this place. You'll be a decoy for the rest of your Eagle career. Or shut up and go along and get along. Pick one. I'm open to both. As a matter of fact, very few athletes get a chance to pick both. Either be treated like an asshole or a star. Pick one. You're that good, AJ. And I'm being as open and as honest as I can. That's how Jimmy would talk to him. I'm just being as honest and open as I can with you. Hey, I like you too, by the way. But when it comes to the business of football, that's a different conversation. That's a different deal. Do I like the player? Of course. Does the quarterback and him have some issues? Yeah. But I'm going to tell that guy, either shut the fuck up and play, or I'm going to make it miserable for you if you don't want to redo your deal. Or you want to play? We'll make everything great. But I'm sick of dancing around this bullshit. The Eagles have to also get off the pot here. They got to also do this. Nobody wants to go through this bullshit again. I don't want to see a guy reading War and Peace on the sidelines. And I don't want to see him moping. Moping? You're making $30 million and you're moping? Kiss my ass. Okay? I never thought of it like that. I said I didn't wish injury But put your glasses on. AJ said Jimmy's offense sucks. Yeah. Jimmy's offense sucked at 3 Super Bowls. YouTube won't let me send a super. Damn, look at that. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you being there, dog. It's the shitty East Coast weather. Dr. Evil or something. I don't know. Fact sales. Give it. Dude, listen. It's February 24th. I'm fucking tired of it. Let's go. Seals, you notice the trend of bringing in wide receivers that a quarterback had in college? Hurts, Smith. Yes. Yes. There is something to that. I think there's a relationship. Yes, I see that. Completely agree. Seals, Eagles are meeting with Goddard's agent at the Combine, according to Howie. Woo! Good. Good. You know what Goddard's seeing? Damn. Market says I'm only worth $6 million. Could I get 8? Howie saw it a year ago. You know, the one thing that he may have done that was right, Goddard's value has dropped as a player. His market value's dropped. But again, I think this market is not very hot. And you know what? I think a lot of these guys are going to get overpaid. Seals, will you ask Doug if the Eagles? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You guys can't send supers? That's bullshit. Thank you guys anyway. We will put you up here anyway. AJ's a goner. That's what I see too. Trev, I got you, bro. I don't want AJ to start dividing the locker room, which I think is already happening. What is he, Alshon Jeffries too? I guess that's a no. I don't know what you're talking about. Sales, look at Zane Durant. I'm looking at mid-round guys to replace Jomo. What does Bledsoe say? Twiz, I promise you, I'll have the full. I want to do this, Twiz. I'm going to get another Bledsoe report after the combines. They're going to have a better look at all these guys, okay? Let me see if I have anything on him now. It's kind of short. He's 6 feet, 290. It's not terrible, but you already have interior defensive tackles. So are you talking about like a later round guy? Because he's 6 feet, he's 290. That doesn't frighten me away from him, but great first step, disruptive potential, much more difficult to block on the move when gaming in fronts. That's Vic Fangio stuff. Can beat lateral zone blocks and find his way into the backfield. Excellent awareness. You got to play him in a 1 technique. You can't play him in a 2. Chases screens exceptionally well. Rare speed and short area quickness for defensive linemen. Weakness, smaller stature, shorter arms. That's not a factor. Put on skates and rolling out of gaps by down blocks. That means he plays high. That's a young guy thing. Can't play in schemes asking him to sit down and take on blocks. Well, that's a problem in that defense if they're playing 34. Unable to withstand longer block engagement. Testing, y'all liars. There you go, Sig. Thank you, Sig. Sills. The Dow is at 50,000. Well, if I get invited, I'll show. If I get invited, I'll show. Seals, why do you think AJ's production can't be replaced? 1,000 yards isn't special. In this scheme, they're less than need for a big-bodied wide receiver. Need more shifty wideouts. That's funny you should say that because that's some of the things that we're hearing a little bit different on what they're going to try to implement going into this new offense. Okay? So, yes. Yes. Let's see here. Still seem like AJ ruined the vibe on offense all year. No chemistry. Yes. Correct. I completely agree. All right. So let's go to the next elephant in the room here. Hit the like button. By the way, Doug Pederson at 3:30 will join us. He will join us at 3:30. The reason I like TJ Parker, he's got violent hands. Also, Clemson got a history of producing D linemen. They do. I think Dabo's done a really nice job at producing some really good defensive linemen. Really do. Thank you, Kyle. Does Hurts even have the arm talent for West Coast offense? Hell no. Hell no. Arm talent. You mean the pocket talent. He's got arm talent. He doesn't have pocket talent. That's what he doesn't have. Absolutely. Okay? So, here's the next elephant in the room. I had a conversation with Adam Kaplan again this morning. And Adam Kaplan came on the program on my weekend show and here and said that Jeff Stoutland got emotional and got up and walked out of the room. That's exactly what happened. Nick took over more of the responsibility of play calling on the run game. And Jeff Stoutland was, I want to use the exact word. Jeff Stoutland was insulted by Nick Sirianni's. I want to get it right. Jeff Stoutland was insulted by Nick Sirianni's involvement and him preparing for the run game. And Jeff Stoutland, as emotional as he is, took it as an insult when Nick got involved in the run game. They're not going to tell you that in Philly. And Nick Sirianni, Jeff Stoutland felt insulted. Now, here's how I'll answer that. Nick's the head coach. Like it or not. He's the head coach. He gets to do whatever he feels like. If he doesn't want to run a play, I've told you this shit before. Jimmy Johnson let his offensive and defensive coordinators run the offense and defense. If Jimmy wanted to do something in the second half because he had a lead, you know what he would say? Run the ball more. That's all he would say. Not telling you what plays to run. I want to run the ball more. I want to run that clock down. Let's run that clock down. And so they would start running run plays. They would make the calls on the run plays. Jimmy's not going, run a 38 toss. He's not doing that. But a head coach is going to do this. I think we need to kill the clock a little more. Let's run the football. That's not really telling anybody what plays to run. You're kind of shifting a gear. I don't want to do that. We're going to run the football here. Or we're going to throw the ball. We need to throw the ball more. That's a coach's prerogative. And this is where I'll support Nick on this. If Jeff Stoutland got his panties in a bind because Jeff felt that, according to Adam Kaplan, that Jeff Stoutland was insulted because Nick's involvement in the run game, well, head coach has that right to do that. It's his prerogative, right or wrong. He's the one that bites on the bit for it if he gets fired. So, I mean, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying that's right, but in a way, I am. Like, that's his team. Like, Jeff Stoutland's ego, I think, got the best of him here. That, guess what? I'm the fucker that built this team. I'm the fucker that built this success. Well, guess what, Jeff? You're not the head man. So, I as much as it pains me to say this, I got to go on Nick's side with this. It's his fucking football team. I mean, I'm sad that Jeff Stoutland got this emotional. And so I confirmed it with Adam Kaplan. Adam Kaplan goes, that's exactly what happened. And he said it on both my shows. Stoutland got too emotional. Nick never took anything away from him. Nick just got involved. And it insulted him to the point where he went in during the week of them restructuring the coaching staff. And according to Adam Kaplan this morning, that's exactly what went down. He got up and walked out, said, I quit. He actually said that, I quit. And Sirianni didn't want him to quit. Nobody wanted him to quit. So this Chris Cooper guy is just it's an emergency hire. It's an emergency hire. So this is not a guy to go, well, yeah, well, we thought of replacing Stoutland with this guy. That's not how that worked. They were not prepared for Stoutland to walk out and pout like that. Hey, so it wasn't Nick. The coach has every right to stick his face in where he sees needed. It may not be the smart thing. It may not be the right thing. But he has every right to do that. He's the head football coach. Whether you think he's got autonomy or not is completely irrelevant. Actually, I think Sirianni was trying to be respectful in a way by not demoting him and telling him anything and being more involved. Nick felt he needed to be more involved in the run game. Okay. They wanted to go more under center. Again, I got this all from Adam Kaplan. Okay. Sills, yes, Nick has the right to be a good CEO coach. Would he be able to maneuver through emotional issue and settle things down? Well, he has been able to settle things down. Every time there's something's gone sideways, he's not handled it well. By the way, here's the one thing that Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, could have backlash for this year. Basically, Jeff Stoutland threw a fit because he didn't like anybody meddling in his sandbox. And if this guy, Chris Cooper, shits the bed and that run game doesn't come back, you might alienate that old line with the head coach. I think Lane Johnson coming back, Lane Johnson came back because there's no way Jordan Mailata likes this, or Landon Dickerson, or Cam Jurgens, or even Tyler Steen. There's no way they like this. Taking directions from a guy who failed in Minnesota over a guy who's a legendary old lineman and one of the great old line coaches of all time. It totally makes sense now. Stoutland threw a fit. He lost his job, basically, because he lost his poise. Right or wrong? Hey, do I want Jeff Stoutland back? Absolutely. But if Jeff Stoutland is going to be as much of a handful inside the locker room and the coaching staff as much as AJ is, what's the difference? Boy, I'll tell you something, man. They had a lot of problems last year. They had a problem on the field and in the coaching staff. They had a problem with the way Nick handled the coaching in the run game, and they had a problem with the player on the field being involved in the pass game. They were never going to win. That's Nick Sirianni's responsibility. The head football coach has to keep those those battles and those issues at a simmer. He can't let those things blow up in his team. And both those things obviously look like they blew up last year. That's the head coach. That's a failure on him. So Stoutland threw a fit. AJ was throwing fit. Where's the head coach? How you doing, Sills? What I missed so far? AJ's up for sale. Stout will come back once Nick is gone. Yeah, well, let me put this out here too. I don't want a position coach thinking that he's bigger than the head coach either. Everybody works for somebody in the world. We all know this. I think Jeff Stoutland's ego maybe got the best of him. It's all starting to come out. It makes complete sense now. This makes complete sense. Complete sense. Doug Pederson will join us, bottom of the hour. He's the best O-line coach, and we paid him more to turn down OC jobs after 22. Hey, look, man, I think losing him is a huge loss. But the way it went down was poorly handled by everybody. Poorly handled. That's true, Sills. The head coach is ultimately runs the show. Respect the title. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So the head coach comes in and the head coach wants to do things under center. Stoutland threw a fit on that? Jeff, you're all trying to get to winning games. And you may feel that you know how to win games, but the head coach has got to answer to the owner. You don't. He's got to handle, the owner. He's got to talk to the GM on a daily basis. And Nick's going to do shit. Any head coach is going to do shit that he thinks is in the best interest of winning, not in the best interest of you. Listen, you may think it's wrong, but the head coach, hey, bro, if he says something, you got to his way or the highway. No matter what he says, right or wrong. AJ going to sweet defense, going to be upgraded now. Let's see what they get back. Stout and Kelsey were too involved in this offense. Hurts will take another step this year. I do believe the involvement was true. As a matter of fact, let me go back here to this. Do you believe that these guys think that Jeff Stoutland and Jason Kelsey stunted Jalen Hurts' growth as a passer? Jason Kelsey ran all blocking protections. That was through Jeff Stoutland. He was the guy that was involved in the run game. Right? So get this. Jason Kelsey was the voice of Stoutland. And when Jason Kelsey's not in there, Jalen Hurts has to be more involved. Maybe Jalen Hurts said we need to do more under center. And that took Stoutland out of the building. Boy, they had more problems in there than you think. This wasn't Kevin Patullo's fault. They had conflict in that building and in that coaching staff between Stoutland and Nick Sirianni all year on the way the offense wasn't running the ball. They couldn't get the ball running. They couldn't get it running. I bet you Kevin Patullo complained out of his mind about the run game and the blocking schemes not being on the same page. I'll bet you anything. That's why Nick was defending Kevin Patullo and why they basically lost Stoutland was because they probably had a problem with him last year. Not as a passer, But general quarterback, yes, it's something that should be part of every quarterback's rep. Well, Jalen Hurts has never learned how to read progression reading in his entire career. And it was the first time he ever learned how to set protections. Dude, you learned that shit in high school. Sills, would you bring in Devontae Adams if the Rams don't sign him again? I didn't know he was a free agent. Devontae Adams is a spectacular player. Petula was scapegoated. The players loved him. Yeah, I think there was bigger problems. Here, let me give you guys I'll give you guys some insight on how coaches can sometimes be a nightmare. I'll give you two for instances. So Jimmy Johnson, when he got the Miami Hurricane head coaching job, okay, it was so late in the process because Schnellenberger had left. There was a catch to it. Jimmy, you want the job? You have to retain the coaching staff that is already here. Next year, you can replace them and bring your own guys in. What a hell of a season we had. Coaches bitching, coaches fighting. You know the Flutie play? We didn't have a defense. Nobody called it down from the box. When Flutie threw that pass, the Hail Mary, the legendary Hail Mary, we didn't have a defense called. Jimmy was furious. Everyone started screaming, prevent, prevent, prevent. It was us. We were doing it. That's why they completed that pass. And when Jimmy got the Dallas Cowboy job, he promised Don Shula that David Shula could be the offensive coordinator. Oh, my God. You know the reason that Jimmy Johnson and Don Shula never saw eye to eye ever again? Because he had to fire David Shula. He was so terrible. Jimmy goes, as soon as that guy, he left, fired him. Because Jerry wanted David Shula as the OC. Fired him the next year. Told Jerry, never, ever pick a guy again for my coaching staff. That 1 in 15 year, that David Shula. Jimmy hated him. Send AJ to the Browns for their 24th pick. Then we have back-to-back firsts. Give us trade options. I'll tell you what, Blaze. I like that one guy who said something earlier. Give me a 3 this year, 2026, and give me the Raiders 1 next year. And you can have A.J. Brown. I'll take that deal any day. Because I think the Raiders are going to blow anyway next year. Imagine this. If they win 5 games, you'd have like maybe the 3rd pick in the draft. And you could replace them with Jeremiah Smith. You make Jeremiah Smith and Devontae Smith. Hey, Dawn, that's pretty damn good looking. Seals, do you agree? Move off AJ a year early rather. Yes. Yes. That's the Patriot way. David, that's your call. David called that. I like that. So what do you guys make of Jeff Stoutland? I got a different opinion on that now. Jeff Stoutland thought he was bigger than the head coach. That doesn't work. Head coach's voice is the top voice. Whether you like him, you like Ray Perkins, or whether you like a coach who's not a very good one, that's irrelevant. When you're in an NFL team, everybody knows that, of course you don't believe it, Abe. Of course you don't. Multiple people are now saying it, that Jeff Stoutland was insulted by Nick Sirianni being involved in the run game. And he was insulted by it. Okay? He was insulted. Got up, walked out. Basically quit. So let's say you get Raiders pick for 27. I'm thinking bigger. You get the quarterback next year, draft, whether it's Manning or Sellers. Okay? Could be too, depending what happens with Ertz. Big Sills is calling you to ask him a question. Sills, what would you like to see the Eagles do in 26? Trade A.J. Brown and get your picks. And get yourself set up for the next 2 years. Because you know why? Let me ask everyone this question. Do you know why I've been doing that exercise with Zander? And I did it with JAKIB yesterday. Let's go down that exercise again. What do we think Jordan Mailata is going to be in the next 5 years? You think he's going to be here? I do. Jordan Mailata. In the next 5 years, do you guys believe that Landon Dickerson will be a starting left guard? I don't. How many people believe in the next 5 years Landon Dickerson will be the starting left guard? How many people believe he will? How many people? Anybody? Okay, nobody believes that. So, left guard. How many people in the next 3 to 4 years thinks that Cam Jurgens is going to be there? I don't. So how many people believe the right guard is not going to be interchangeable? Right guard will always be interchangeable. Can't pay everybody 20. And Lane's last year. So in the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to need a left guard, a center, a right guard, and a left tackle. What's the point of having a receiver worth $30 million in that time frame when you're rebuilding your old line? In the next 3 years, you have to rebuild this old line if you're going to be a contender. Now, if Landon comes back, which is after 13 surgeries, anybody really believe that guy's going to be a top flight left guard ever again? What's the point of having a $50 million quarterback and a $30 million wide receiver when your offensive line is going to be interchangeable and you don't have Jeff Stoutland in the building picking and choosing these next heir apparents? Hey, and for the record, Howie Roseman, the last couple years, like 4 or 5 years, how about them offensive linemen they picked the last 2 years? Cam Jurgens, looks like he's going to have a short window. Okay, hey, how about this? How many people think I'm full of shit that the offensive line will not be retooled in the next 3 to 4 years? I asked you the questions. How many people believe that? Left guard, center, right guard, left tackle. Left tackle for sure is out. Left tackle's right guard is interchangeable the last 4 years. Center's injured. Of course you do. Hey, dude. Okay, whatever. I like Trevor Keegan, and he got poached off the practice squad. Okay, what I'm saying is you're going to have to rebuild that entire offensive line. That's going to be the top priority for the Eagles over the next 3 drafts. It's going to be O-line. You got to start replacing these guys. Your center's down in Brazil working on whatever. Your left guard is on 13 surgeries. Your right tackle's retiring after this year. I mean, that's not hypothetical. That's all real. That's all real. Jurgens is low-key having a Kelsey start. Wasn't Kelsey injured a lot in the beginning? Kelsey had a back injury? I thought it was ankles and knees. Seals, linemen take 3 years to become legitimate starters. This guy's really good today, and you're on your A game here. Really good. Mulata, Jurgenstein, Kelsey, Brooks. Yes. Offensive linemen traditionally take longer to develop because there's more skill set with those guys. There's more technique. You play with more technique in the offensive line than you do with the defensive line. There's no doubt. He did have elbow issues as well. That makes sense. By the way, I do believe, listen, I'll say it one more time to you guys, that listen, offensive linemen take a lot more time to develop. You know why they take more time to develop? There's more technique involved when it comes to O-line. When you're a defensive football player, it's like wind these guys up and let them run into walls. Offensive linemen take incredible technique, slipping and scooping, reach blocking, fan blocking, zone blocking, man blocking. That's why you see the majority of these older offensive linemen, like a guy like Trent Williams, being that good and being that good, that long, and that old, like a Jason Peters. Why do you think Jason Peters was asked to come back to the NFL when he was 42? You know how hard it is to master that technique? That guy's a freak show. He was a tight end when he first initially came into the league. And when you get freak shows like that, it's incredible. Hey, I'll tell you what, we're very excited to get this man on here. And I'll tell you what, dealing with the draft, dealing with free agency, dealing with the offseason, and I had a great conversation with my friend Frank Reich as he took the OC job with the New York Jets. And he had a little conversation with Doug, I heard. And I don't know if Doug wants to talk about that a little bit, but without further ado, the man who's got a statue out front and a man who's revered in Philadelphia like no other, and we appreciate him coming aboard now. Doug Pederson joins us here now on the show. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, I'm doing great, Dan. Thank you so much for having me on again.
You bet. So wait a minute here. I don't know if you want to go deep into it, but Frank told me he had a conversation with a guy about, I'm going to take the gig. I'm going to go. He was talking to Nick Sirianni a little bit, but he didn't think the timing was right. I don't want to go too much into my conversation because Frank will holler at me a little bit, but it must be pretty cool that guys reach out to you and get your advice on things.
Yeah, it still is. And Frank and I have a great relationship, and he did reach out. He was reaching out because he was going up to New York to talk to his good buddy, Aaron Glenn, for the OC job. And just really wanted to find out where I was and where my head was at the time and kind of pick my brain and the same for me, kind of pick his brain and see what he was thinking, with taking this offensive coordinator's job. And I'm just happy for Frank. He's back in the National Football League after, a year out in Stanford with again, a quarterback who he coached in Indianapolis. And, so I'm excited for Frank to watch him now, to be back as a coordinator, a play caller, and to really have an offense of his own that he can really, really focus and hone in on. Aaron can take care of the defense, obviously, and Frank can take care of the defense. Yeah, and Frank can take care of the offense. So just excited for him and where this thing is going to go.
Coach, did he offer you a position to join him in New York?
We did talk about that. Didn't offer anything because that obviously would be Aaron's job to do that. But just talked about where I was and what I would be interested in. And I told him that I'd definitely consider joining him and being up there with him. But I know he went with Bill Musgrave, who's another great football coach in that same capacity. So I'm excited for him as well and looking forward to watching these guys and see if they can't get this thing turned around in New York.
Well, let me bring it to Philly that you love here. And Coach, Jimmy Johnson was my coach and he dealt with Michael Irvin and he had a thing called the Johnson Totem Pole, which meant this: if you're going to give me this much grief, I better see this much production. So we're going to have that like totem pole thing here. So I always knew where I was. I better not give that much because if I'm not giving that kind of production, I'm not getting that latitude. So Michael always had to kind of come in, and Michael had to like produce because there was some grief there. How would you, as a head football coach, handle a guy like A.J. Brown's situation? And by the way, for the record, today, obviously the door's open for a potential moving off of AJ. Even Nick said it today too. I can't guarantee anything. Then again, as you know, Coach, nothing's guaranteed in the NFL. But how would you handle this?
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed, and look, I can see it from both sides. I mean, I know AJ was frustrated last year, and the production wasn't there, and for whatever reason. Again, I'm not in those rooms and on those in those games and stuff like that. So it's hard. It's like you and I just kind of seeing it from 30,000 feet.
30,000 feet. 30,000
right.
feet.
Exactly right. So it's just something you, as a head coach, and I've been in situations like that with players where maybe they're not getting the football, and look, there's only one ball, and the ball's going to go where the ball's going to go, and you try as a coordinator, you try as a head coach to get your best players opportunities to touch the football, and they're the ones that help you win football games. And in AJ's case, obviously a year ago, help them win a Super Bowl and all of that. So you got to have conversations. You got to keep the door open. You got to find out why, and really, dive into your staff a little bit. See if you need to tweak some things. How can we get a guy like AJ Brown involved in our offense and try to, listen, they have a lot of weapons on offense, and but in AJ's case too, I think the conversation has to be had and say, listen, we're all in this together. We all have to pull the same rope. Let's work on this. Let's see if we can't, find a solution to this issue and really help us all win, because we look back at the Eagles offense and yeah, they did struggle this past year. The run game wasn't there, wasn't consistent enough like it was the year before. Same way in the passing game, there were injuries again this year on offense that held some guys out of good players out of football games. And anytime you have, multiple star athletes miss games, miss practices, it's going to affect your football team. And bottom line, it's going to affect wins and losses. But the biggest thing is you got to find a solution. We all need to be the reason why we're winning football games and not trying to make waves for the team.
Coach, for you, when you look, some guys you hit with feathers, some guys you hit with hammers. You have to always be that guy. It's almost like being a psychologist a little bit when you're talking to the guys, because some guys you don't have to say 10 words to, and they're going to go out and do their job. They're going to be pros. And other guys, and again, I'm not dismissing those guys because not every personality is the same. AJ's a spectacular player. Did you find those more difficult type of players to have to maneuver around and to coach? They took more of your time. How much does that take away from your preparation? Also, you got 53 guys you got to worry about, 52 other guys. How does that affect the rest of how you prepare each week?
Yeah, you're right. As a head coach, you're dealing with the whole football team, not just necessarily, half one side of the football, like a coordinator, right? Offense or defensive coordinator. But as a head coach, you're dealing with everybody. And you're trying to put the best 11 on offense, best 11 on defense out there, get your game day roster to 47 guys and, find out who's going to help you win. And listen, sometimes your best players are your strongest willed players too. They're the ones that they demand, and I get it. They demand the football. They want the football. That's what's made them great in their career. So I can't fault them for doing that. But I think there's a way you can go about it that really can help the whole football team. And let's all try to be part of the solution, not the issues. And this past year was just unfortunate that I think it made more issues for the offense than anything else.
Coach, I'm going to take you. You had Jeff Stoutland on your coaching staff, and I got this from Adam Kaplan. So you tell me, again, we're 30,000 feet on this. One of the things that's being thrown around now is that Jeff Stoutland is an emotional type guy. He's an emotional. He was down at the University of Miami. He was an interim coach. I know Coach pretty well. He's an emotional type dude. They wanted to do some subtle changes on the run game, and kind of some ideas got in the way. The head coach, and I just was telling people this, the head coach is the final law here. If he wants to do something, it's the head coach's way. The assistant coaches and the players, whether you like it or not, if the big man says something, we got to toe the line with what the coach wants. How difficult is that sometimes? Give me your perspective on Coach Stoutland, because I tell you, he's one of the greatest of all time. Howard Mudd, Skarnecki, you go down the list of some of the greatest O-line coaches of all time. Obviously, he won a Super Bowl with you. Give me your takeaways on how that whole thing transpired. Yeah,
I tell you what, I can't say enough good things about Coach Stoutland. I love that man. I tell you what, now he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's very passionate about his players, his guys, and the game of football. He just loves coaching ball, and he's smart. He's intellectual, and he's a grinder. I mean, he's one of those coaches that man. For me, when I was there, I knew our run game was going to be top notch each week. It was going to be, we're going to have a well-oiled machine. The guys are going to be, the guys are going to practice hard. They're going to be well prepared. The run game scheme, the plan was going to be, top notch. I mean, it's just, and he was able to make adjustments during games. And so, I owe a lot to Coach Stoutland in the year we won the championship. I mean, we played with a rookie left tackle when Jason Peters got injured. We got Holly Pulivati-Vaitai was playing left tackle. And, so he got him ready to play in the biggest game of his career in the Super Bowl that year, and just watched how he develops young talent. Jordan Mailata, who's now one of the top tackles in the National Football League, and guys like Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. You just go down that whole list of guys that he's coached, and it's hard. It's again, not knowing the whole thing, but it's tough to make tough decisions when you're sitting in the head coaching chair, because if you have to move on from a guy like Jeff Stoutland, you better have somebody just as good or better that's going to replace that seat in that office. And it's just and sometimes sometimes maybe on the other side, sometimes coaches stay in a place, so long that maybe it is time to move on too. Right. I mean, there's always that too. I mean, he's been there for a long, long time. He was there, with Chip Kelly before I got there. So he's been there a long, long time. He's coached in college, obviously the National Football League. So, there's some of that too, where a coach just needs to move on and change the scenery, just like players and all of that. So, but it's tough. It's a tough decision, to make, to move on from. And, we'll see how it plays out this year.
How about this, Coach, for you? Did you stay away from that? Now, look, we had Mark Trestman on last week, and Mark Trestman said the number one thing that an offensive coordinator, as yourself is as well, that's your heart, is being a coordinator and being a head coach. You've got to be in sync with that old line coach. If you're not a line coach and you're not with him, you guys are not on the same page, there's a massive problem with that. How much were you involved with Jeff in setting the run game and setting pass protections and doing all those things? Because again, it seemed that there was a little bit of a disconnect after a while where the head coach felt that he had to get involved in it, where there was more stuff under center. How difficult are those decisions, and how much do you have to be in line with that offensive line coach?
Well, as a play caller and someone that's helping, put together, especially working, and Frank was my coordinator, so working closely with Frank. And really, he and Coach Stoutland, or he and the offensive line coach, must be on the same page, because everything runs through the offensive line. I mean, your run game, your play action passes, your screens, everything you do has to go through the offensive line. And so those two positions, your coordinator and your O-line, or your run game coordinator, they need to be on the same page. And then for me, when I was there, and especially as a play caller, and I don't tout to be a run game guy or a guru in the run game, but I was in Kansas City, for 3 years with Andy Heck, and I saw a different style of run game there, and was able to bring some ideas and some suggestions and stuff like that to Coach Stoutland. And that's what I appreciate about Coach Stoutland, is how open he was. It always wasn't his way. It never had to be his way. He was open to ideas and to really, I think broadening his knowledge of the run game as well. But you're right. The coordinator, the play caller, in this case, it was me as the head coach, and of course the run game coordinator, all need to be on the same page, because when you get into games, and that's where it matters, right? It's where it matters. And you go through the week of practice, and there might be something you don't see until game day, and then there's a little, the defense is scouting you as well, and so you have to make subtle adjustments, but you got to have open lines of communication. You got to talk about these things. You got to vet them out during the week. And, it's just you got to be on the same page. I can't say enough about that.
Coach, and I'll ask you a tough question here. You think that played a factor in why Frank didn't join the Eagle coaching staff? They knew that they were moving off of Jeff Stoutland?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. And again, I don't know the whole situation about it, so it's hard to comment on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I just don't know. It could be, but who knows? It could be a lot of different reasons.
Coach, when you're going to install a new offense or a variation, they bring in all these new guys. They got 5 new dudes. They got a new O-line coach. They got a pass game coordinator and Josh Grizzard. They've got a quarterback coach that they brought in. Talk about the transition on what you're trying to do. And here's the difficult thing. Coach, they're 50-18 over the last 4 years, doing it one way, and all of a sudden now they're doing it a different way. Is that because you start to think, well, it looks like the defenses are catching up with what we're doing. We got to evolve the offense a little bit more. Is that the type of thinking you do when you make these type of changes?
Yeah, I think back to, my early years in Philadelphia, my first, offseason in Jacksonville, new coordinator, new run game coordinator, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're not necessarily worried too much about what the other team is doing, what the defense is doing, as much as what you're doing and what your strengths are going to be. For me, it was about let's figure out what Trevor Lawrence is good at. If he's the quarterback, let's find out what he's good at. Let's pick his brain. Let's talk to him before we really start diving into this thing, and let's start putting some pieces together that way as well. And hopefully they've done that with Jalen, and they've talked to Jalen and find out what he likes and have open dialogue and great communication with him. But, when you're putting in a new system, you really have to start. And what we've done is we started with the run game. We started right there. We started with that, because then there we can work on our protections. From there, we can work on our play action pass. Everybody's route trees are the same. It's not like you're coming up with new and inventive, ways of throwing the football. You're not doing that. But you got to have a core, and you got to go in and have a core belief that, hey, this is who we're going to be. What's our identity? Are we going to be a pound and ground team and then work the play action movement screen stuff, or are we going to come out throwing first and then, so you got to have that identity, and you got to set that from day one, whether it's the head coach who's an offensive minded guy, or if it's the coordinator working for a defensive, head coach. So in Frank's case, that's his responsibility now. This is the identity, but you also have to understand what the head coach wants. And if he wants it to look a certain way, then it has to look a certain way. But you got to start with that core. And again, for us, it was with the run game. Let's start there, because everything else branches off of that. And that's what Frank's going through right now, and putting all those pieces together. But at the same time, you're studying your players. You're studying the guys that are back on your roster. And every team is going into free agency, coming up this next month, and you're just adding talent to your roster. So, in Philadelphia's case, what is this? I think it's his 6th offensive coordinator, in 6 years. And so for a quarterback, I just think how successful Philadelphia has been making these changes year in and year out. So there has to be consistency, but also the consistency has to be with, I think, the guy behind the center and who he is and his strengths to the offense. And then I think you can really branch out from there.
Coach, I'm going to deviate a little bit here, and I'm going to bring up the Jags to you here. I'm going to say it, and I want to see watch his face. So, it seems to me that somebody did all the digging and all the work, and looks like somebody put the nails into the frame and poured the cement and put all like the groundwork in, and all of a sudden there's a foundation. Look at that foundation down there. Boy, I wonder if there's somebody that poured the foundation for the team, and all of a sudden you're looking here going like this. Gee, that architect goes, that's exactly what I envisioned. I wonder if you thought that this year about that Jags team.
A little bit, but I'll tell you this. I was excited. I was happy to watch and really see those young players really blossom and bloom. The guys that we drafted, guys that I inherited when I got there, guys like Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne on offense. You look at Trayvon Walker, the success he had this past year, Josh Allen. I mean, two great edge rushers. And you're just sitting there watching these guys and how they're evolving and they're in, year 4 and year 5 and all this kind of stuff. And it is exciting to watch, and you feel like you have or had at least a hand in their development and their growth, and just watching them flourish and the year they had and the year that Liam had as a head coach, play caller. I mean, he went through the same thing a year ago with putting in a new system, but it appeared that he definitely had conversations with Trevor and wanted to pick Trevor's brain. What helped Trevor be successful and all of that. And it was fun to watch and to see. I'll tell you this though, I think to me, the common denominator, Trevor stayed healthy all year. And that was a positive, to Trevor. It was a positive to that organization and that team. And, his availability at the end of the year, it proved, I mean, it showed up, in games. And so that's a credit to Trevor taking care of himself and just excited to watch those guys play.
I got to ask you about Lane Johnson now with the Eagles. He's going into his 15th season this year, brand new offensive line coach. Just your takeaway with him and what kind of football player that he's been since, he's been an Eagle.
It's amazing, to watch Lane's career, 15 years. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's just, it's almost unheard of anymore, especially for an offensive lineman, the wear and tear on these guys. And Lane does an outstanding job in the offseason, taking care of himself and getting in the weight room early and keeping his strength up and his athleticism and flexibility and all that stuff. And it's just a credit to Lane. And, so obviously going into a new year, new coordinator, maybe some new terminology, obviously, but again, sometimes that's good, but sometimes too, I mean, he's going through his 6th offensive coordinator too, I mean, it's the same. It's not just the quarterback. It's all those guys that have been there and they're hearing different terminology, different voices and, each and every year. So it's just a credit to where Lane is, and the type of career that he's had and really, again, he's one of those players when you watch games, I'm always trying to find Lane Johnson, see how he's doing and he continues to play at a high level.
Coach, you would never coach. No, I don't want to put words in your mouth here. So you tell me if I'm wrong. You would never coach Trevor Lawrence the same way that you would coach Jalen Hurts. They're two different skill sets. Is that up to you? Because I watched Ben Johnson and how he handled Jared Goff, and then I watched him how he handled Caleb Williams. Is that your responsibility? Because it looks like to me, because Nick was raised around guys like Phillip Rivers, 7-step traditional drop guys, progression reading dudes that just knew when they got to the line of scrimmage that those guys knew where their pre-snap reads were. Is there a difference in how you as a guy would come in and say, all right, I got to coach Hurts this way. I've got to put – you don't want to pin him in a box, but do you boutique an offense for a skill set when you're an offensive coordinator? Do you come in and create that offense for that player and have that one offense set up for him?
Just go back to the year we won the Super Bowl and we had Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. And when we got to Nick Foles at the end of the season, we had to coach him a certain way. We had to coach him differently than we coached Carson Wentz. And because they're two different types of quarterbacks, and so we had to do it differently. And it's no different now. I mean, you take Jalen Hurts and his strength and his ability to run the football, as a runner in a play action pass guy is way different than you would with a Trevor Lawrence. And, but at the end of the day, bottom line is trying to win football games and whatever you can do to win games. But you're right. You have to coach them differently. The strengths are different, but and you just got, and again, that's where I think that's the fun part of offense is just really diving in and studying your players and studying your quarterback. And again, going back and just kind of looking and seeing what worked well, and Jalen Hurts, when you have a great run game around Jalen Hurts, man, sky's the limit. And I'll tell you this, if your run game around any quarterback is successful, then that quarterback is probably going to be successful, because it's really going to shorten your down and distances. You're not going to be playing in 2nd and 7+ all the time. You're going to be 2nd and 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to be 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, or a first down again, just because the run game has set those things up. So, but yeah, you treat them all differently, you coach them differently. But again, I still think it comes down to the run game.
Did the Eagles reach out to you about potentially joining the staff in some sort of capacity, like being a consultant, or they've done that before in the past? And, did you not, I don't want to say offer you anything, but did you have conversations with them?
I did not. No, I did not. And it was something that was, obviously put out there, but no, I didn't. And I didn't necessarily expect to, but, it's just, it's something that didn't happen, and that's okay. Did other teams, Doug, did other teams reach out to you about? Actually, no. Frank was probably the only one that reached out to me at this past year. But, I think the league is changing. I think you're seeing ownership, going in a different direction. I think they see the younger football coach. They see the guys that have had success on offense or defense and going that route, as they should. I mean, that's just that's the way the league is going. It's getting younger. Players are getting younger. Coaches are getting younger, and it's exciting. It's exciting to watch the National Football League now. It's a lot of offense. It's set up for offenses to be successful, and so offensive coordinators are obviously getting these head jobs and as they should.
Couple last questions for you here, Coach. Okay, well, that being said, then, is it because analytics have become such a major part of game planning? Frank told me when you guys were putting game plans together, I didn't realize this, so that the analytics department would come down, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the analytics guys had this idea about this, and you would be more like this. Well, I'll tell you what, those little numbers there are great, but we're going to run it this way here, and we're going to do this, and we're going to put the analytics there, because I hear Vic Fangio do this. Yeah, it's there. I see it, but here's my game plan. And so I'm going like, how much has that gotten into the way a little bit? Because like I said to you last time, Philly's not, that's not analytics. That's right here. I mean, That's right. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's called having cannolis. Right there in the middle of a game there. So do you think that's getting too much in the way, or do you think it's a needed asset for coaches nowadays, and that maybe that's why they're going in that direction?
I think I believe analytics can be used as a tool. I don't think it can be necessarily your end all be all to putting a game plan together, because listen, it doesn't take into consideration sometimes, the weather you're going to be in, if you're going to be in a dome, if you're going to be outside, if it's going to be freezing, snowing, going to be sunny. It also doesn't take into consideration injuries. It's just a plug and play thing. It's 12 personnel, 11 personnel, 13 personnel. These are the top coverages and all that. But to me, and this is where you have to be careful with analytics, because okay, show me a report on Monday or Tuesday, but I also want to see the video. I also want to see the video evidence of that report, and where did these reports come from? And show me, if you're going to show me a document with a bunch of numbers on it, I want to see that video that coincides with the opponent that we're playing, and show me that this is their top. Because I'm watching that film just like they are, and I'm we're putting a game plan together, and we're looking at analytics and saying, okay, there might be a little wrinkle here that we might be able to do something with, and so we use it as a tool. I've always used it as a tool, and more so probably in situational football, with the third downs, with the fourth downs, the 2-point conversions, field positions, things that go, kicking a field goal versus a punt, whatever it might be that way, but. Use it as a tool. Don't use it as a way to play the game, because humans still have to play the game, and humans are making decisions on the sideline and in the coach's box. And And it's not a computer game, and so use it how you see fit as a head coach, and take the information and apply it as needed.
I've got it. There's something out there in myth that you resented those Monday morning meetings with, why you were doing certain things a certain way. I'm not going to name any names, but were they true? Were they those meetings where you'd win a game 17-14 and you're answering questions on how you got the W, and you're like, hang on here. In the NFL, this ain't a beauty contest. I'm paraphrasing from a guy who told me this story. Did you resent that a little bit, that you were questioning on how you got wins?
Listen, we get paid as coaches to win football games, win championships. And I don't necessarily care how you win, as long as you win. It could be 3-0, right. It could be 17-14. It could be, 41-33 in a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. It's just getting the W and getting the win and moving on to next week. And let's fix the things that we need to fix. It's just, it's hard. I mean, look, you're right. It's not in the National Football League, it's not a glamour show. And you can look around the league and teams are putting up a lot of points, this, that, and the other, but are they winning games? Are they losing games? Where are they? And, so it's just, look, I mean, it's a hard thing to deal with sometimes, but at the same time, you get paid to win football games and win championships. And I felt like there for 4 years, our second year we won the championship. We were in the divisional round the next year, playoffs the third year. Obviously, we got in some injury situations my last year there, but it's not a beauty contest, and it's football. At the end of the day, it's football, and it's how we move our pieces versus their pieces. And a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, and it's tough to win games in the National Football League.
Yeah, well, Press Taylor, just for the record, got a job up in Chicago, and I just want to put that there and put that out there too. Two last questions. I want to sneak these two in on you. I had Bernie Kosar, who's a dear friend of mine. And, Coach, you tell me, this is more about a league thing. I just watched Sam Darnold go and win a Super Bowl. And you had been a guy that had gone around the league too, and you see some of these reclamation projects. Man, I now believe this. Organizations let down quarterbacks all the time by not putting the proper coaching around them. In our league, we need coaching. College, you can get away with brute strength. You can get away with talent. In the pros, everyone's great. You've got to have great coaching. I watched Sam Darnold last 2 years. He's 31-8. He's now won an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. Coach, am I right when I say this? That organizations are more so at the fault of these guys not having success because they don't have patience. Is that fair to say?
I think I agree with that. I think they're too soon to move on from a player, maybe too soon to move on from a coach. And look, you got to win yesterday, not tomorrow. You got to win right now. And if you feel like that, you're not winning with a certain player or especially the quarterback position, then you move on from him and try something else. And, I think I tell you what, now it's a credit to Sam Darnold. He has battled a lot of adversity in his career, as a top draft pick. And, he's definitely stuck with it. He doesn't listen to the naysayers. He doesn't listen to the critics. He knows his own ability. And you look at the last 2 seasons, he's been with guys that are quarterback friendly guys. You listen to the Clint Kubiaks of the world and how he sees a game through the quarterback's eyes. That's exactly how I see the game. You got to see it through the quarterback's eyes and how you develop the quarterback. And I think that goes by the wayside. I think you got to continue to develop your roster and especially the quarterback position. And I don't care how young or how old that player is. They want to learn. They want to get better, and you got to teach them the game of football. You just can't go out there and just run a bunch of X's and O's and a bunch of plays. It's not necessarily going to work. It's how those plays are designed and what they're designed to do, and you got to teach your quarterback and your team how to execute those plays. And so, yeah, I think sometimes you get a little little anxious and you move on, from a coach or a player. And, it's probably great for the player because they can end up on a team that's loaded with talent like Sam did in Minnesota, a year or so ago, and the success they had there. And then obviously go to Seattle. And look, Seattle drafted well. They had great skill and ability. They got a tremendous defense, their run game, all the things we've talked about so far today. Seattle had it. And it's no surprise that they won a championship.
Coach, if there's anything that I could ask you this last question, and here, I'm going to ask you about this you just talk about pressure that head coaches are under. If you had to do one thing over again and how the whole story went down with Carson Wentz, would there be anything that you would have done again? How much pressure was on you from people? How much the organization, you have to win now? Was there anything that you would have done different, or did you think it played out the way it should have played out?
I look back on that and, listen, I still believe the things that I did were to help our football team win. And look, we were struggling that last year. We were struggling as a team. And I'll say, Carson wasn't playing as good as he was, earlier in the year before. And look, when you're struggling like we were, and you're trying to make decisions for the football team, and we just, we had just drafted a young Jalen Hurts, and it wasn't about Jalen versus, Carson or anything like that. It was, you're trying to find that spark, right? You're trying to find that maybe that one thing that can help you, just win a football game. And because we were struggling that year to do that, and you make other roster moves, but obviously the quarterback position is the biggest one and the brightest one. So I look back on that, and I have no regrets on any of those decisions I made back then, and I stand by it, and just excited to see what the future holds and watching these young players play.
Do you want to coach again?
I'd love to. I'd love to. I think I'm 58 years old.
In any role, coach, or does it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so in any role. I mean, I think I still love the game, man. I played it for 14 seasons. I was in it. Coached it for a long time. Been around the National Football League. One of the things you miss being around the guys. You miss being out on the grass with the guys and going through the grind with your coaches and all of that, and putting those plans together and just watching them succeed on game day. And that's the part you miss. And so, yeah, any capacity, I'd love to get an opportunity to talk to some people and see where it goes.
You ever crack the ring out? You ever bring the ring out? And by the way, so I interviewed my last two interviews. I did Will Power and I did Marcus Erickson. They won the Indianapolis 500. And they got these gigantic, gaudy rings. And I go, where do you keep them? They go, safety deposit. My mom's got it. And I go, do you ever crack them out? He goes, oh yeah, special occasions. Does Coach Doug Pederson, does he take out the ring? Do you bring it out on any occasion? Holidays, fly it around a little bit, fly eagle fly, or what do you do with it and where is it?
You know what? I don't. They're so kind of big and cumbersome to put on your finger. Right? And yeah, I just keep it in a safe upstairs, and but I have a watch, a commemorative watch from that year and the Super Bowl 52 watch that I wear. And to me, that's every time I look down and check the time, I can see it. So I don't wear it that much. It's kind of big and it's upstairs collecting dust right now.
Coach, great stuff, man. I hope we could do it again. You were absolutely spectacular. I can't wait to see you back in the NFL too. I'd like to see you, Kansas City, maybe. Get there with Andy, get back there. You two guys hook it up and get going there a little bit with Patrick Mahomes. But I'm looking forward to seeing you back in the NFL. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
You bet. That is Doug Pederson. Absolutely awesome. Great stuff, man. Good stuff. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, so they did have those meetings after. The guy wins a playoff game and he wins a game and these guys are barking at him. Hey, how come you only won by 3? What? Are you crazy? How about the fact? How about this too? So he goes, you move off Jeff Stoutland, you better have somebody special. Holy cow. Oh, man. How you doing, Chris Cooper? Oh, my God. By the way, Big Z's going to be on with us at the bottom of the hour. And hopefully he's been listening to that thing going on. Yeah. Holy cow. That was epic, man. Doug was great. Hey, you know what I miss? I miss hearing a dude that, instead of that word salad that I get from M. Reyes's, like, Nick Sirianni. That was a coach I was listening to. Holy cow. Man. He just said Stoutland was open to new concepts. So what the F happened? Better ask Nick. Now, wait a minute now. Maybe he wasn't open to hearing new concepts from Sirianni. And Doug Pederson, he was. Sills, that's not on Nick then. If Stoutland had a tantrum and walked away, that's on him. That's the word. I think Stoutland didn't respect Sirianni, and that's why he walked away. That's an opinion. Okay? That's an opinion. That's not fact. I don't have any insight on that. Okay? That's an opinion. Sounds like Doug P was throwing shots at the prevent offense. Nick There we go. Boy, your weather's bad back east. What is going on? Nick and AJ are crash outs, emotional dudes. And Nick probably did try to sell Stout how it is. And Stout said, F you, jabroni. Sirianni just got a fat pay. Yeah, you know what? $15 million. The guy at Indiana makes more. Hey, how about that, M. Reyes? The guy from the Indiana Hoosiers has a better job than Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni and the Indiana Hoosier coach. The Indiana Hoosier coach makes more money than Nick Sirianni. The head coach who's won 2 NFC titles in the Super Bowl makes less money than Kurt Signetti. Yeah. How you doing? Nick should be coaching South Dakota State. How about this, too, when he said, I asked him the question about if he'd do anything different with Carson Wentz, like a true head football coach. No. I did what was best for my team. No. And the Eagles wanted to try to save Carson Wentz, and he was like, yeah, no. I'm doing what's best for my team. By the way, it looks like analytics did get in the way a little bit. You see him smile when I said, Press Taylor? No, he's not. He makes $15 million. He makes $15 million. Dumbass. How can you respect someone who can't coach, doesn't understand football, and is a head coach of an NFL team? Stout probably got fed up with working under Doug, a guy that would not shine Stout's shoes. You mean Nick? Shit, Kellen Moore could have won it last year as an interim. How you doing? Hey, by the way, that was another great line. What was the other one? So can I bring this up to you guys real quick about Temu shopping? So I want to read something to you. Zander's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. So I have like a little report card for Howie. Okay? Just a little conversation here. I want to double check exactly the words he said. I would love to see Doug in college football. That would be great. Okay? Let's see here. let me go over here, and I'm going to read this exactamundo. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I got to get the exact wording. I want the exact wording. Here it is. We can't keep all our guys coming off rookie deals. No, we are going to make choices. Howie Roseman. Okay. So here, last year, you guys walked away from Milton Williams, C.J. Gardner, Josh Sweat, and Isaiah Rodgers. Let's pretend you can keep them. Do you think if you had those four guys on your team, you'd win the Super Bowl? And I'll expand this conversation here, and that dude just revisionist history. But if Milton Williams, Gardner Johnson, Josh Sweat, and Isaiah Rodgers, if those guys were on this team, would you have won the Super Bowl this year? Yes or no? It's not what I'm asking you. Would you have won the Super Bowl? You would not have won the Super Bowl if you had those four players? Okay. So this year, you may lose Nakobe and Jalen Phillips. So in the last 2 years, by the end of free agency, you're telling me in the last 2 years, you move off of Jalen Phillips, which you surrendered a 3, Nakobe Dean, which you used a 3, Isaiah Rodgers, Josh Sweat, C.J. Gardner, and Milton Williams. Those 6 players in the last 2 years, you would have lost off your football team. Is that right? If you don't bring Nakobe back or you don't bring Jalen Phillips back and you lose a 3rd-round pick, so you lose the 3rd-round pick, you lose Jalen Phillips, you lose a 3rd-round selection in Nakobe, then you lose Isaiah Rodgers, Josh Sweat, Gardner Johnson, and Milton, the free agency. How do you think it's going in the last 2 years if that becomes the case? Huh? How do you think that looks? What report card would you give on that one? Those are pretty decent ball players, no? That's quite a group. A corner, a linebacker who's got the green dot. Okay. Jalen Phillips, who you surrendered a 3. Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Gardner Johnson, and Isaiah Rodgers. Those some pretty good ball players. Can't sign them all? Well, who the fuck you signing? Who are you signing? Help me out here. So when you got contracts coming up, are you offering a deal to Carter? Or are you kicking the can down the road? Okay, well, obviously, that's something that was thought that would happen this offseason. There's no way they're giving Jalen Carter a 3-year contract extension this offseason. No way. Well, now you're into 2027 offseason with that dude. Okay? Jordan Davis, you gonna give him a new deal? You just picked up his 5th year, and he's going into his last year. How are you doing that? What are you doing? 3-year contract? So you're going to extend Jordan Davis before you're going to extend Jalen Carter? Okay. What's that going to look like? $20 million? Okay. So let me get this right. You're going to have a 17.5 linebacker. You're going to have a $20 million left tackle or nose tackle that had a good year. He surely did. You're going to turn around and pay $20 million, $25 million, $20 million And then the following offseason, you're going to pay 30. So let me get this right. All across your D line, name me a defensive line in pro football that has that. Where you're paying 3 guys north of $20 million. Show me. Show me a D line that has 3 guys making north of $20 million. Can you? I mean, so not only that, but on your offensive guy, 4 of your 5 guys are making north of 20. I didn't forget Slay. Slay was old in the tooth. I'm talking about young, good football players. I had a problem moving off of Slay. Oh, no. Sills, show me an O-line making, hey, no doubt. Underachieving O-line last year, especially when you're talking 2 tackles are making almost 30. The left guard makes 20. The center makes 20. I mean, the majority of your line. So you're going to pay, get this, in your lines, you're going to pay Mulata $26 million, the guard $20 million, the center $20 million, right? Lane's coming back and he's making almost 30. And you're going to sign an extension to Davis, pays him 20. You're going to give Jalen Phillips 20. Then you're going to come back and pay Carter 30? 28? Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's $130 million. Shit, that's $200 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 dudes. You got quite a little deal working on here. That's quite a bit of ducks. Look, we signed this guy, but that means we're going to have to get rid of one of our own guys, you know. And so everything we do at this point is a trade-off. Okay? If we do this, we're going to have to I'll tell you what, Twiz, this is why maybe trading AJ is the right time. Getting more multiple. And it's going up significantly. I got it. It's going up significantly. Okay? That's not the point, dude. We're talking about your decisions and what he's saying. Dodd, what do you mean I'm not Howie? I'm echoing and talking what Howie's saying. Don't be a dumbass. Jesus criminy, dude. Stupidity at its finest. Okay? I mean, Seals, the Eagles are better off paying Davis and Carter rather now than waiting. Okay? That's a thought. You typically get a better deal that way. Well, that's all under the assumption Carter's going to bounce back and be great. Seals, those defensive players they moved off of helped win a Super Bowl with a healthy O-line and run game. They wouldn't have fixed the offense in 25. Okay. So you don't think your defense would have been a better defensive football team and would have given your offense better field position where they didn't have to go and have to run the field 70, 80 yards. What was the one thing that defense did in 24? They gave you exceptional field position. You had exceptional field position that year because the defense was stuffing teams. And as it got on, it got better and better and better and better. The football team improved even more so because they were winning first and second down, albeit the run game was not the same that it was in 24. It was common. I'm confused as to why we still talk about Because Akbar, we're now talking about 7 dudes, not just moving off of, it's becoming a trend. Here's why. So if you don't sign Phillips and you don't sign Jakobi, you're going to move off in the last 2 years. Milton Williams, Gardner Johnson, Josh Sweat, Isaiah Rodgers, Nakobe Dean, and Jalen Phillips. And you surrendered a 3. That's not winning football. It's becoming a trend. Now, this right here, we still have to wait and see how it plays out. But Howie's already telling you, Nakobe's going to be a casualty. They're not re-signing Kobe or Nakobe. They're not re-signing him. So you can add him to the pile of great players that you've let walk out of Philadelphia the last 2 years. You could even put down Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell had a spectacular season in Pittsburgh. You moved off of DeAndre Swift. Hey, let me ask you this. How do you think DeAndre Swift would have been in this offense with Saquon Barkley? That's the kind of back you need as the other guy. But, again, you won a Super Bowl when you moved off him, so all good. But Kenny Gainwell? Why do you completely ignore the incoming? The incoming last year, blue dog. Move off of AJ helps bring Dean and Reed Blankenship back. Oh, that's another thing. Oh, yeah, I forgot those guys are exiting too. Let's go over here. On top of those guys, here. Hey, by the way, I'm glad to hear that they're talking about talking to Dallas Goedert. That's a good thing. Here are the Eagle free agents. I see that with the internet. Guys, I appreciate it. I don't know what's going on. I think this is mine. So Jalen Phillips is ranked right now as the number 6 edge rusher. Nakobe Dean is number 34. And this is ranked by Pete Prisco. Blankenship is number 49. Dallas Goedert is number 67. Okay? Let's see here. Gainwell is awesome. Just internet is like Jalen trying to find a receiver. It has been like it. I think it is mine today. I do. I do think so. That's why AJ's being traded. We need his money for the defense. I completely agree with you. That is right. This is why the deal makes even more sense. Now, again, he's got to restructure. Okay? He does. I agree. Tell you what, DeAndre Swift had a better season than what Barkley did last year. No? Let me double check that. Let me take a look at that. See if he had a better season than Saquon. Well, they beat him too. And they went further in the playoffs. So let's take a look if he had a better year. Did DeAndre Swift have a better season? Swift had 1,000 yards rushing, 1,087. And he had 9 touchdowns. Let's see what he did. Swift had 34 receptions for 300 yards. And how many? And what did he have? Had a TD. So let's see here. Let's go over to Barkley. Saquon Barkley had 1,140 yards And Barkley had 273. 273, 11, 413, 11, 9, 12. He had basically 140 yards more than what DeAndre Swift had at around 12 million less. Economically, DeAndre Swift is a better season. He made less, signed for $9 million, and Barkley's making 20. Basically gave you the same production that DeAndre Swift gave you in Chicago. At $12 million cheaper. How you doing? That's how general managers look at it. You basically got the same production from a dude. You basically got the same production from a guy $12 million cheaper. Okay? Bears revamped their O-line while we dealt with injuries. Okay? You're still paying them guys. You said he had a better year than Barkley. Now you're changing the goalpost. I think he did. I think he did have a better year. I think he was more explosive for them. I do think he had a better year. Shields, can they restructure Barkley? I don't know that. I think they just gave him that extension last year, no? They gave him a pay raise when they didn't have to. That made no sense. Let's see here. Steele's about to do a show on his phone. No, not doing that. Swift can also catch. Yeah, no, especially if you're going to try to change the offense. Especially, right? We'll see who has a better season this year. We will. Changing the offense. No, like I said, though. Yeah, it's going to be interesting here because, again, last 2 years, he's telling you Kobe. And they also said they're going to be shopping at Temu again. They're not making a splash in free agency. They're going frugal because they want to sign their guys. Okay? Does that mean Reed Blankenship's out? What are you signing that freak for? $9-10 million bucks? Why? He's so replaceable and stupid. Who else are you signing? Like, what deals do they have that are pending deals? Jordan Davis and who? Kobe? Okay. Who else is a pending contract that they can't make a move in free? You know what? They got so much money tied up in offense, they can't make a move. That's the problem they have. And they have so much money that's on the void years, they can't make moves. They owe like $400 million bucks in void money, still to have to be restructured. That's why. And you see this idiot down here as usual. Wait till June. Those are the fucking leftovers from free agent in June. They're leftovers. You tried that bullshit last year and you had those Temu signings and they were garbage. All of you guys told me these guys are going to be impact guys, this and that, whatever. They were nothing. The guy had to make 9 moves in season to right the ship, which I love. The reason you are not going to be Max Crosby, you could stop that talk today. After listening to what Howie's saying, you could stop that bullshit right now. There ain't no Max Crosby deal. Ain't making a move like that. If they make a move, they're going to sign Bradley Chubb. If they can't bring in Jalen Phillips, they're going to sign Bradley Chubb at $12 million, $13 million. He had 8.5 sacks last year. It's the same dude, but cheaper. Okay, I mean, the biggest decision that has to be made right now is still the receiver. What goes down? And is that dude still in here? I love that deal. Give me a third round pick this year from the Raiders for 26 draft and give me the Raiders 27 pick next year, that could be a top 5 pick. And you will be able to replace whomever, quarterback, wide receiver, with that number 1 pick. You'll have your pick and you'll have the number 4 pick in the draft. The Raiders aren't going to get better. They're not going to get better. Look, if you move off of AJ, let's see. You're not going to sign a 33-year-old Mike Evans, I don't think. As I said the other day, Mike Evans would be a great stopgap to next year. Again, you drafted Devontae Smith at 10. If that guy does not flourish as a 1 ever in his career in Philly, that will go down as kind of a miss. What wide receiver do you know that was drafted with the 10th pick in the draft never turned out to be a number 1? Can you name me one? That a guy was the 10th pick in the draft and he never went out to be ever was given the opportunity to be a number 1. Hell, Jahan Dotson was given the opportunity to try to be a 1 when they drafted him in Washington. You don't draft a receiver at 10, a lottery pick, and say, well, he's a hell of a 2. It's stupid mentality. You could get a number 2 wide receiver off of free agency or in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th round. Puka Nacua was a 5th rounder out of BYU. And he's turned into the top wideout in football. Listen, fanboys, Carter Davis, Mitchell DeJean are Howie's priority. Was bye-bye to Blankenship and Dean. I think that's what he set in the pay. I think that's what he's setting it up for. Send AJ to the Patriots for the 27 first rounder. See, to me, I'm with you. Get an O-lineman this year. Get a 3rd rounder this year. Make it a 1st next year. Then you go into that draft with 2 picks in the 1st round. This draft, if you go in the draft this year with 2 1s, you're either going to do this. You're going to replace an O-lineman or edge. Now, I will say this about this draft. It's a great O-line offensive tackle draft, and it's a really pretty decent edge draft. There's some good players there. So you could go that lane if you lose Phillips. But then you're back in the lane of, will a rookie pan out? Versus, I know this guy's good. That's the difference in free agency. And why free agency in today's NFL is as important as drafting. You know what you're drafting when you draft potential? Guys who have never done anything in the NFL. You're basing it off of college, which is a crapshoot. It's like the stock market. When you go into free agency and you look at a dude, that guy's a good football player. He's a good football player if you put him on Mars. Doesn't matter. There's nothing to prove. He's good. Sills, maybe move off Bond. That's a gamble, dude. Bond's still playing elite football. And he's more reliable and more durable than Nakobe. That's a gamble. You want to put more emphasis and stress on your linebacking core? Dude, 3 years ago, you were the worst linebacking core in pro football. Now you're one of the deepest. And you know what else? The reason why you can't bring Nakobe back? Hey, folks, tell the people why you can't bring Nakobe back. Because you can't put a first rounder on the bench. And you're not putting Bond on the bench. And you're not trading Bond. That's why you're losing Dean. You're losing Dean because Dean's going to go out in free agency and somebody's going to give him $10 to $12, $13 million. And the Eagles aren't going to pay $30 million with 2 linebackers and turn around and try to tell me you guys are going to pay $50 million between Carter and Davis. That's absurd. And 20 for Phillips. Dude, doesn't work like that. That's right. Jahad Campbell. Sills, Adam Schefter says Trent Williams might test free agency because him and the Niners are having contract issues. They are having contract issues. Trent Williams is not Trent Williams 4 years ago, but Trent Williams is like, he's like Lane. Those two guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. Let me show you Trent Williams' accomplishments versus Lane's. Here's Trent Williams. 12-time Pro Bowler. I mean, I don't know how many guys have been over that. Lane's got half those. Guy's one of the greatest offensive tackles to play in pro football. 12-time Pro Bowler. And the guy could still play. Injuries are a deal with him. Okay? Yeah, one of the most egregious things ever to happen was when the Washington Redskins moved off of him. And it was over medical. And he castrated him. And he told him, he wanted out. And they had to move off him. All right. I'd like to know what happened at that presser today between Howie and Nick. Boy, it was great to hear. Wasn't it great to hear a coach today? How about that? Wasn't it great to hear a coach actually speaking today? Man, Doug Pederson. How you doing? All right, without further ado, we bring in our guy. Big Z, Zander Krause joins us now here. How you doing, bro?
What up, Big Sills? How you doing? Look at how the tables have turned. You were giving me a hard time last week for some internet, and now you're blaming it on the East Coast. He's like, yeah, the internet on the East Coast is the reason that. Newsflash for you, Sills. My internet has nothing to do with the output of your stream, okay? We are both remote, and our internets work separately, my friend.
Too bad you can't get the mic working with Johnny Mac every morning, but hey, that's a different deal.
That's a new issue, man. That's a new issue.
What'd you make of Doug?
Doug was great. He's easily my favorite coach of all time in Philly. It's not even close. In fact, he makes me not want to be a Nick Sirianni defender too. He makes me not want to defend that stooge Nick, all right? But Nick has been successful. But
hey, dude,
I just like the honesty, Yeah. Like he's honest. Even you asking him, which is probably a tough thing to say publicly. Nah, nobody reached out to me except Frank. But you can tell that that's Doug's default setting. He's honest. He's not a liar. He's not a bullshitter. I love Doug.
So Doug was feeling Doug out for a spot on the Jets staff.
Yeah, but Aaron Glenn. Who knows? Good stuff.
You had those two guys over your shoulder. I wouldn't want Doug Pederson and Frank Reich over my shoulder in Woody Johnson's freaky world. If that guy bombs in the first, right?
That guy had one of the worst first seasons as a head coach ever.
All time.
You're damn right. I want the Super Bowl winning head coach looking over my shoulder. I mean, that's crazy talk. I would, but I get what you're saying. People have, people that want to protect themselves, which I get.
So you guys, not you, but the Eagles really gave him shit on Mondays?
You're not putting that on Eagle fans, are you? That's our goofy owner.
No. I'm asking, I said not you. So they really I confirmed it now. They gave him shit on Mondays?
Tuesdays, yeah.
Tuesdays. They gave him shit for winning games?
That's our goofy owner.
How about him saying that also he has no regrets on Wentz?
Another great response. That guy's got a backbone. I don't give a shit what you think of him as a coach. Yeah, I wish he's a great one. He's got a backbone. I mean, no, I got no regrets. I believed what we were doing was for the betterment of our football team. I mean, respect.
I couldn't believe he was answering these questions.
Absolute respect for Doug Pederson. He really is. He really is a boss and a legend. I mean, I think he will age like wine in Philadelphia. I really do. I really do. You know, I think the first one, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future with Jeffrey Lurie and where the team goes. And hey, obviously, I can't see that far into the future, but I think Doug Pederson will age like wine in Philly. I really do.
How about the one crazy comment that I couldn't believe also? I asked him about Jeff Stoutland.
Yeah.
And he goes, boy, I'll tell you, you better have somebody. You better have somebody that's just as accomplished as that guy. If you're replacing that guy, you better have somebody that
They don't. They don't. But, you know, the thing that Doug said about Jeff that was interesting to me was that Jeff was always open to other ideas.
Yeah.
You know, he never thought that it was his way or the highway. In fact, Doug said that was one of his strengths, you know, that he was open, that he wanted to hear the different ideas to get things going. Now, I did hear that same story Kaplan told you. You know, John got it a little bit as well. He got some more information on it. He was telling me about it on Birds 365, but it definitely sounds like they rubbed Jeff Stoutland the wrong way. And maybe that's, look, it's Nick Sirianni's team. I mean, he's the head coach, Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, I love you, Stout, but I don't know what you expect. Now, maybe there's a way to handle it. Maybe there's a way to do it better. But, I mean, if you're going to sit here and tell me that Nick Sirianni shouldn't peek his head in on the run game, I mean, that makes his haters right, that he doesn't do his thing. That makes the Devin Shanahans and the Princes of the world. By the way, speaking of it, wait, let me pull up the number. We have 17 slots left for the JAKIB tailgate. That's it.
I told your dad that thing was going to go like a maniac.
17 slots left. If you don't get them in, you're done. All right? You're done.
It's too good a deal.
It is. It's a great deal.
It's too good a deal. $100 to go to an NFL game? What are you, stupid?
267-261-3428. Text Krause, Birds 365.
Run that thing underneath. Run that thing underneath.
It's not off your Morgan logo. I'll do it after.
So, I mean, so let me get this right. You think maybe Jeff Stoutland didn't respect Nick Sirianni?
Maybe, but I also think you can't rule this out. Jeff Stoutland's legend grew a lot since Doug Pederson left.
You mean his ego?
Which would insinuate that potentially the ego has inflated as well.
Okay.
I didn't say that. You said it. but the lure and the conversation and the way Philly talked about him and the Super Bowl season with Saquon and the offensive line and all of the Dickerson and Jurgens and
Stoutland, the shirts.
Exactly. I mean, I got one on jakibsports.com/merch. Go check it out. I mean, maybe it went to his head a little bit. I don't know. It is what it is. He's gone now. I'm looking for W, Sills. I mean, you want me to sit here and cry and weep about the past?
No,
I'm looking for W's, my friend.
Listen, and I hate doing what I'm going to say. No. It's Nick's fucking team. I mean, when the head man talks, calls you in the office, it's his way. It's his team, dude. I mean,
it doesn't even sound like that's what happened, though. It sounds
like it doesn't. It doesn't. It sounds like Jeff Stoutland pouted.
Yeah, Nick poked his head in there, and Jeff had a tizzy with it. You know,
like, what are you doing? What is he, Buddy Ryan? Like that kind of shit. You know, relationship with Dick and all that. I don't know. I mean, all right, dude. Ready? I got to write something down for you here.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. AJ for sale. There you go. AJ for sale, baby.
Well,
how about Nick dropping his draws a little bit by going, I can't guarantee homie's back this year. Not probably what they wanted him to say.
Probably not.
But Did you listen to the presser? Did they say anything?
I listened to some of it, but Doug was on, so I was doing both kind of at the same time. And Doug was more entertaining to me than Nick, who
Not
doesn't.
bad. What do you make What do you make AJ? I mean, do you think he's gone? Okay, how about give me what was that John McMullen one? 51-49.
He's up to 50, he's up to 53 now.
53. I'm 80-20. AJ's out of here.
Are you 80-20?
Yeah.
Maybe for the sake of the channel, I ride the other side. So we have
20-80?
Yeah, 20-80's out of here. Now, here's the thing I'm struggling with AJ. Is that Howie doesn't like to make bad deals. And like trading AJ is a bad deal. Before we even see the deal, it's a bad deal. Because you're not going to get better and you're not going to get equal value for the player. So that's my dilemma with it. And I would think that he would be gone. But because of that, I do wonder if Howie thinks it's easier to have a tough phone call with AJ than it is to freaking trade him and lose out on him. So that's my thought process. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm going to go.
We are going to read all these great supers here coming up. Thank you, guys.
Oh, shit, look at Dio. Thank you, brother.
Like We're going to read them here in a minute here. We're going to get to all you guys.
He got his 2 ticks. He got his two tickets to the game.
That's fantastic.
Wow, Dio, are you flying in, bro? Dio's far. He's like as left coast gets. I think he's in Washington State.
Wow, that's going to be a great one. Absolutely awesome. And thank you, brother. We're going to read that here in a minute here. All right. We have one of our great viewers in here say this. I kind of like this deal. Give me a 3 this year and give me if you trade with the Raiders, give me a 3 this year and give me your 1 next year. The Raiders are going to blow next year.
Dude, the Raiders aren't going to do that, though, because they know they're going to blow.
So you put A.J. Brown next to Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, and you have your boy Fernando Mendoza. I'm not thinking that's awful looking.
Well, what's their offensive line look like? You can read me all the skill position names you want. If they can't block somebody, they're not doing shit.
Okay, I get that. That's going to take a little more time to build in your offensive line.
All right, so they're probably going to stink.
Okay, well, you know what? I could draft in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds.
They're the Raiders. They're going to stink.
Dude, I like that deal.
I like the deal. I just don't think the Raiders are going to make it.
You're assuming the Raiders are smart, though.
That's fair. Maybe Kubiak put such an emphasis on offense that he's into that deal. I don't know. We'll see. I think a segment we got to get to. It might be too early in the summer to do this. I think you could probably do it now too. But who are the teams who are going to win 4 games next year? Like, forget the best teams. Because I don't think the Giants are going to be another 4-win team. I don't think the Commanders are going to be that low again.
No.
I mean, who's
you want to go? You want to go NFC first?
Who's going to be the dregs of the league? Yeah, go NFC.
I don't think there's going to be a team in the NFC East win 4 games.
Me too. I think they're all going to win more. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a team in the NFC North win.
Cleveland's probably one. Jets.
I'm doing the NFC. I don't think there's a team in the NFC North that's going to lose 4 games. I mean, only 4 games. The Saints, the Cardinals.
I think the Saints are going to be good. Not good, but I think they're going to win 8 games.
The Raiders, the Titans, the Browns, the Jets, the Dolphins. Most of the shitty teams this coming year are going to be in the AFC. I think most of the shitty teams will be in the AFC this year.
Are you sniffing an Eagles Super Bowl run in 26?
Oh, God.
I
heard a team
starting out at the lots with the Jacob Nation Army.
How about this one here, homeboy? So, are we going to go Temu shopping again this offseason?
Oh, yeah. That's already set in stone, baby. I mean, that's why you hear Howie gassing up. Well, when you sign your own guy, that's actually a splash move. It's like, all right, Howie. And John bought it hook, line, and sinker. I mean, he's selling you that thing every day. Well, when you make a splash, you paying your own guy is making a splash too. Oh, okay. It's not, but they're going to go Temu shopping. They're going to go Temu shopping, though, for I don't think a bad reason. It's because they've drafted so damn well, man. Now, where you're right is last summer it was because the Carter deal was coming. Now we don't even know if the Carter deal's coming, but we'll see. Temu. Reyes, you coming to Philly for the first time in your life on the opener? Did you get your text in, Reyes?
So, here's a little report card for your greatness of Howie Roseman and the greatness of drafting.
He didn't have a great year.
Just a question here. Just a question.
He didn't have a great year, that's for sure.
Okay. So, this offseason here, there is a shot that the last 2 years, in the last 2 off seasons, you lose Milton Williams, Gardner Johnson, Josh Sweat, Isaiah Rodgers, Jacoby Dean, Jalen Phillips, and a 3rd-round pick. Is that right?
Yeah.
Whew. Oh, some pretty damn good players and a pretty good quality pick. What are they waiting for here? Now, let me ask you something. Do you think that they're too pigeoned on the offensive side with all that money that's on that side of the ball that they can't do anything?
Yeah, but I don't think they get that much relief. Like, where do you get any relief from the?
You're not.
You're not. Even if you trade AJ, you're not getting anything.
No.
Oh, you're not. It's not like I think some people think, all right, you move on from $32 million and now you have $32 million for the defense.
The players got it.
That's not how it works. So, I don't know what they're going to do, man. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. But that's why I think Temu's coming. I had somebody in the chat this morning had me cracking up. It was so I'm not a huge shopping guy online. I don't go on Amazon or Temu or any of these things. But somebody told me that Wayfair is like a step above Temu, I guess. So somebody hit me with so are you telling me it's a Wayfair off season as opposed to a Temu off season? I'm like, I don't know, maybe, man.
Bro, how are you going to better the team?
It feels like an off season of hope, doesn't it? Hope the offensive line gets better. Hope healthier, better. Hope that Saquon Barkley is a better year. Hope that Jalen Hurts is a better year. Hope that Sean Mannion's going to work out. Hope that Nick Sirianni knows his ass from a hole in the wall. Hope that Chris Cooper can do even 10% of what Jeff Stoutland did. Hope that you draft well. Hope that the defense stays good. Hope that Jalen Phillips wants to play for $20 million. It's a lot of hope, Sills. Hope that A.J. Brown will happily return to Philadelphia. By the way, you know what? You want me to take a stand? You want me to take a stand? A.J. Brown's coming back. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to play right here in Philadelphia. He's not going fucking anywhere. A.J. Brown, set up your beach chair, kick your feet up, put your umbrella to the sky, put your little umbrella in your mojito, park your feet down, and let's go here. All right?
He's a mojito drinker. Okay.
That's what you are. You might be a mojito guy.
Too much. It gives me too much gas. I can't drink them anymore. I stopped drinking them 2 years ago.
What these goofs do at the tailgate, all these knuckleheads. I had someone comment, I'm bringing the weed. I'm bringing the booze. I'm like,
good. I'm in.
I'm sure you are. I'm in too, but
me too. I'm in.
Shows down there. I'm gonna have to be driving. You never know. So you never know,
bro. 7 wins. I don't see it.
You think this is the year for the first time, by the way, since you've covered this team with JAKIB Sports?
Yep.
You think this is the first year that it actually falls down?
Yeah. This is the first year you're under 500. I love that conversation that you guys had about Sean Mannion. Well, I interviewed 17 guys. Well, yeah. and
Dude,
guess what?
Nick is such a phone. This is where I give everybody credit. This is where I relent.
He's such a fucking bullshit artist.
He's such a phony. Like he's very successful. I will continue to defend him for his success, but He is a phony ass dude, man.
He is.
He really is a phony.
I think
dude.
the Eagles have made him phony.
Well, that I definitely agree with. But I mean, look, if you don't have a backbone, if you have a backbone, you can't be turned to a phony.
No.
No, they tried to turn Doug to one.
Yep. Timu.
But look, here's the brutal reality of what I just said. You know, there's a reason that I was never going to work in the corporate world in the 9 to 5.
Because you can't take orders from somebody.
Yeah, but not only that, but I struggle with it. I can't go against that. I can't play the bullshit games. I can't play the hee-hees and the hoo-hoos and the ha-has with everybody at the office. And, you know, it's just so corporatized. It's like, I don't know. I hate it. Maybe that's how you play this game, man. Like, is it like, look at Nick. You know, he's the one with the job. Doug's the one on our podcast.
Bro, I say this all the time in my business. You know why I'm not where Colin Cowherd is?
Yeah, because
Colin Cowherd gives people's asses.
Exactly right.
Okay?
Exactly
Look
right.
at Stephen A. Smith playing both
You're
sides.
You're rugged big sills, and that's why I love you. That's why Jacob's always loved you, because that's right. That's what I prefer.
Why we're here. That's right. That's why we're here.
It's not being cordial, Race. That's not what I'm talking about. It has nothing to do with being cordial.
No.
I mean, being cordial is fine.
It has everything to do with being real.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Exactly right. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. So Nick Sirianni and Howie. Boy, I'll tell you, Howie's starting to lay some groundwork here to let everyone know what's going on here. I mean, this thing with Sean Mannion and how they landed on him. What a swing, dude. You're taking one of the biggest swings with the offense. Help me out on that. That's where they landed on. And then get this, when Stoughton told him to go fucking pound sand, they hire a guy, Chris Cooper. This staff sounds like they were guys that were on the island of misfit toys. And they went and they hired the guys and said, hey, come with me. We're going to have a journey this year like no other. I'm starting to believe that Nick's even safer than what we think.
Well,
dude, you don't make these kind of dramatic changes like this. Now, wait a minute. I heard you guys say something. So you don't believe there's going to be big changes. It's Kellen Moore changes? Is that what John said?
Yeah. That's better, though, dude. If they come in here and they try,
that means then that Nick is running the show. Like he's calling me.
It means you, Fleming, Prince, and everybody that hates Nick he's gonna be gone. You know, I mean, he's done. Somebody put it in. I think it was Brandon Howard put it in. I mean, it was a great comment by him. He said, Z, remember this comment. I'll give you $100 super chat if I'm wrong. He said, this is a cap maintenance year. They put it all on Nick so they could fire him and all his and reset for 2027 with more assets, a better cap position, and a new head coach and coaching staff. I'm like, I could see it. I could totally see it.
You know, I love the fact that, you know, when we lay down takes that could be 1 year, 2 years, it always ends up coming back, man. I just 24 threw me for a loop, though. I won't lie. It was terrible in 24. It was one of my worst years of my 35 years. Couldn't believe it. But, of course, we rebound like we're Wilt Chamberlain and like we're Shaq O'Neal off the boards. Boom, heading down there. Nice. Boom, we were like O'Neal coming off the backboard, man.
Yeah, this is a pretty shitty time in sports, isn't it? Like, is there anything good on right now?
Oh, yeah, my show. My show.
Oh no, I know your show. I'm talking about sporting events.
Oh no, the Olympics were great. Oh, by the way, what do you make of the chicks not going?
I don't know. You know, it's weird. I don't want to comment on it too much because I don't know. Like, I didn't see this at all. And then my sister was telling me, she's like, somebody's mad at Trump or something, and now they're mad at the Hugheses for going. I'm like, does everything have to be turned into this fucking song? I mean, seriously, aren't you guys tired of it? I don't care what side you're on. Aren't you tired of it?
I don't give a shit.
Like, I don't give a rat's ass. They won the gold medal. Congratulations. If they want to go to the White House, whatever.
bro.
I think the whole thing with Jalen Hurts a couple years when they had to go to the Super Bowl was stupid. I mean, it's still stupid.
If Joe Biden was in the White House and my team had won a championship, I'd be like, fucking A, I'm being honored, man. And by the way, I don't have a problem with the chicks not going. Here's my problem with what they missed, though. They missed an opportunity to promote women's sports, and they missed an opportunity to promote women's hockey. That's what they missed the opportunity of.
Yeah, but chicks are by nature more emotional, and they're not going to, they're more left leaning. That's okay. It's okay to say, women are left leaning, so they're not going to go because look at what it does. Look, everybody shits on Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes because they want to go to the White House, and they'll say, I don't really give a shit what people say. The girls aren't with all due respect, I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. They don't want to have to face that type of public relation backlash. They don't want to say, I want to represent my country. They would rather just distance themselves from Trump, who's obviously a controversial figure.
Hey, here's why, too. Those chicks are going to jobs. These NHL guys are going to the Devils. These guys are going to the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah. They got big gigs.
Yeah. Well, Stu, I hope you realize that you are definitely more of a rare breed, Stu, and that's why we love you here. But that's not as common.
Yeah. I think if you're getting an opportunity to be honoring your country, I don't give a shit what the landscape is. I mean, and I hope Seattle takes that whole thing. All right. So a couple more here, Z. Then we'll read some of these supers. Guys, I appreciate you very much. Please hit that like button. By the way, dude, Doug Pederson, he sent me a text. He goes, you let me know when you want me on again. He goes, that was good. And I go, Doug, I can't believe you answered those questions. And he goes like this. Yeah, those were some of the questions you didn't put in that sheet that you were going to ask me.
It's funny you said that because I'm watching. I'm like, damn, Sills has some chops asking that. I mean, even the first question, you're like, I don't know if you want to talk about this. I'm like, man, you're put on the spot. I hope Doug knows that, JAKIB Nation, we've got a great community.
Yep.
We don't represent all of Eagles fans, obviously. Yep. We have our community, but I hope that guy knows that he's respected.
He does. I told him.
Yeah, I really
said, I go, believe me, dude. They pinned an interview that you did the last time you were here, and Zander kept it up the whole time.
Yeah, dude.
And I go, so just so you know.
Wait, that's not for other people, by the way. That's for me. That's because I like Doug. When I click on my channel every day, I want to see Doug Pederson, man.
I said, so Zander, man, he's a massive fan. And I go, bro, this is really like one of the only last places. This is why Eskin and those guys come on, and he really appreciated that.
My fiance, actually, her family, who is it? It would be a girl who married her male cousin. So I don't know what that would be to her extended cousin now.
Yes. A distant cousin.
They're family friends with Doug Pederson, and he was at their wedding.
Oh, killer.
So yeah, this was years back, probably 3 or 4 years ago now. But I remember them telling me the story because they all know me and what I do as the Eagles guy and stuff. But this year for Christmas, actually, it's funny. They let me turn this off. They gifted that girl, the same girl that knew Doug, gifted. They had an Eagles quarter zip, a game worn one from Doug Pederson.
Oh, killer!
And they gifted it to one of the other cousins because he's a big Eagle fan. So I was sitting right. It was pretty cool to see that they gifted Doug. Doug, if you're listening, your quarter zips are being gifted as Christmas gifts in Philadelphia, my friend.
Do you think they'll build a statue for Nick Sirianni?
No, right now, no. If let's just say Nick, let's say this is Nick's last year, he wins 7 games like you believe, which I don't believe, and he gets blown out. There's not a 1% chance they build a statue. I don't even put it at a 0.1% chance. It's stone cold 0.
You think they build a statue for Hurts?
Another Super Bowl, yes. This one, probably not. One of the reasons I think that Nick, Foles, and Doug got one right away was, one, it was the first one.
Yep.
Two, it was like,
And it was the circumstances.
Yeah, it was everything. It was the Philly special. It was the backup quarterback. It was the first one for Philly. Everything about that first one was magical, like at every level. I don't think you get a statue for a Super Bowl win. But if Jalen gets another one, I'll be calling for him to have a statue. You're damn right. I'll criticize it, and I don't give a shit. I'm wrong. If he gets another one, there should be a statue outside Lincoln Financial with Jalen Hurts' name on it. That's for damn sure.
I called him the most overrated quarterback in pro football this weekend.
Oh, that is egregious comment by you, dude. That is an egregious comment by you. The most overrated quarterback?
Most overrated quarterback in pro football.
He's not over. Look, I've criticized Hurts more than most.
His ability is so overrated.
Oh, dude, that is such an egregious comment by you.
Really?
Oh my God! I'll criticize Jalen.
What does he
do most better? Over?
What does
Josh Allen? And I love Josh Allen.
Allen's overrated.
He's more overrated than Hurts.
Josh Allen's overrated.
Yes.
Really?
And I love Josh.
With the players, you're dismissing team. It's a team sport. So you look at Josh Allen and you say, Josh Allen has to play like fucking Superman every goddamn day.
That's not what you said.
If he doesn't play like Superman, that team has no if Josh Allen, about this, if you take Josh Allen off that Buffalo Bills team, they win 3 games.
Dude, that's not what we're talking about, though.
Okay, what are we talking about then?
He's obviously a talented player. We're talking about overrated. People talk about Josh Allen like he literally is Superman. He's not.
I believe you could put another quarter.
He needs a better team.
Okay, I believe you could put Sam Darnold on the Eagles and you'd win a Super Bowl.
And if you put Josh Allen on the Eagles, what would you get?
An undefeated football team.
So we'll take it to the next level. Oh, bullshit. Oh, bullshit.
I saw Sam Darnold.
So then if Josh isn't overrated, why doesn't he have a ring? I know the answer. His team's not that good. So if that's the truth, every quarterback in the league, except for Mahomes, needs a great team. From Josh to Joe to Herbert to Jalen to you fill in the blanks, except for Mahomes.
There's very few quarterbacks in pro football history that have done it with common dudes.
That's why I said Josh is overrated, because people act like he's Mahomes and can win with a bad team. He can't.
Okay.
He can't win without a great team.
That's the organization's failure on him.
You're messing with what I'm saying. That's all right.
No.
Oh. Wait. All right. Wait. All right. You want to go down this road? And it's funny because I actually love Josh Allen. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in football. But I'll go down this road to keep, for the sake of what you always said, what the motto of the show is: truth, justice, and the Z way, baby. So Josh Allen had the leading rusher in pro football this year. Is that right?
I think he did.
Yeah. You know what? I know he did.
Okay.
I know he did. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 3 tight ends over there. He doesn't even know what to do with them all. His team is not that bad. His offensive line was a top 10 unit this year.
Okay.
His team is not that bad. You talk about his team like it's the Cleveland Browns. Like
here.
Come on, man.
Here's the Z's point here. So Cook had 1,600 yards, no doubt. Here's who Allen was throwing to. Shakir Kahil 700 yards receiving. Dalton Kincaid, 500 yards. Dawson Knox, 400.
Man. Look at you fumbling.
Keenan Coleman, 400. Joshua Uche Kuche Palmer, 300. James Cook, 291. Ty John, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah, you're right.
I've never heard of these guys.
Wait a second. Last time the quarterback in Philly had great running back numbers and the receiving numbers were pedestrian. Oh, right. We walked our ass down fucking Broad Street. All right.
Let me see.
I don't see that with Josh.
Let's see here.
How good was the Bills defense this year? What were they graded? How bad were they?
The Bills. 7th. Total defense was 7th.
7th ranked defense. You got
number 1 in pass defense.
Oh my God! What? Justice and the Big C has taken over the National Football Show today. Can you believe it, Sills? Can you believe it?
They were 28th in rushing defense, but they were 7th overall.
Right. Oh, man.
I didn't realize that. They were 7th in total D.
That's not that bad of a squad, is my point.
You think it's on the same level as the Eagles?
No, I don't. I don't think that. And I think Josh is a great player. I don't want that to be low. I think he's a great player. But I think you're back to the original comment. You said
yes,
that Josh or that Jalen Hurts is the most
overrated player in the league. Yeah,
dude. Yeah. I mean,
if you were going to build your football team from scratch, is he the guy, the quarterback in the league you draft? Would you take Allen?
No, and I've never said that.
Okay, I want to. Let me play a little game.
Just say what I'm saying though, because I understand where you're going with it. But if you look around the league and you look at the more national landscape, and I understand you do a Philly show, you do national shows too, but in Philly, we have a propensity to become an echo chamber of what's being said in Philly. I look around the league. I listen to sports talk shows that are national. I turn on NFL Network. I turn on ESPN. I listen to some of these guys. I listen to social media clips. Most analysts, most talk show people have Jalen between 10 and 15 on their list. That, to me, is appropriately rated quarterback. Now, if you want to put him a little lower for the passing, that's fine. I think Jalen adds a lot. I think he's right between 10 and 15. Sometimes he plays top 10, and he's up there. But I think that's the appropriate rating for him. I don't think that's overrated.
Okay, let me play a game with you. And based on talent, so you're not taking Jalen over Stafford, right?
No. Nope.
Okay. You taking him over Jared Goff?
Jalen over Goff?
Yeah.
I'd probably take Jalen in today's day and age because I feel like you can do more with him. Goff is good, but he is limited.
4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns.
He can throw. There's no doubt he can throw.
If you were building a team, an offensive football team, you taking Hurts, you taking Goff?
Well, I'm taking Hurts, and it depends the situation. I mean, if the team is already built like the Lions, I'll take Goff. But if you're starting a new draft and you got to build a team and get the wins, I'm taking Jalen because the dual threat nature allows you to win games quicker.
Okay, well, I'm going to take Goff, but you take Jalen, okay? Over Prescott, I'm taking Prescott.
I'm taking Dak.
Okay. Drake May.
I'll take Drake May.
Taking Drake May, too. Sam Darnold.
I'm going to stick with Hurts there. I do think here's what I'll give you on Sam.
I think Darnold's hot right now. I don't know.
But here's the thing with Sam.
Don't you think you have to see more with Darnold than 2 years?
You know what? No, I actually don't. What I think Sam is I think he's off the caboose list of what everybody thought he was. I think he's entered the conversation with Jalen. He's probably between 10 and 15, if we're being honest. And he has the ability to play like a top 10 quarterback on any given day. But consistently, I think he's between probably 10 and 15.
I'm taking Darnold. You're taking Hurts. Trevor Lawrence. Now, one player with over 800 yards receiving, he threw for 4,100 yards.
Wow, that's like Carson Wentz when he had like 600 yards.
Yeah.
I've been pretty let down by Trevor since he's come to the league. Give me Jalen.
I'm going to go Jalen. I think he needs to show me one more year. How about Caleb Williams?
Jalen. Good player. Here's the thing with Caleb. That talent, if he's able to put it all together, it's going to be a weapon. Because his arm talent is unbelievable, but you can't complete 55% of your passes and say that you're going to win games at a consistent level. I can't see that.
Bo Nix.
Give me Jalen.
Okay, I'll go there. Justin Herbert. I'm going Herbert.
I'm going Herbert as well.
Mayfield. I'm going Mayfield.
That's like a push, man. Both of them have their pros and their cons.
I'll take that.
Like Baker, like some nights Baker will come out and you're like, man, I'll take him with anybody. But some nights he also makes plays and you're like, dude, you're in the red zone. What are you throwing an interception for? Right into their guy's hands,
Okay.
So
Josh Allen. I got Allen.
Yep, I got Allen.
Mahomes. I got Mahomes. Jordan Love.
I like Jalen over Jordan Love. He's got great talent, though. But
I can't stand Jordan Love.
Yeah, you didn't want to buy him last year. He had a good year last year. He was injured.
I can't believe you were right. I mean, I kept looking at him going, yeah, no. But you know what? He had a great year. All right, Lamar Jackson. I'm going Lamar.
Talk about overrated. I think Lamar Jackson is overrated.
And his 3 MVPs?
Yeah, I think he's overrated. The MVP, to me, has gotten a little bit political. It's not always a perfect embodiment. It doesn't always tell the entire story. I mean,
but dude, the MVP award is a 60-minute game versus 6 months of football.
I'm not saying it's not impressive. He has 3 MVPs, but I just don't. I don't trust Lamar. I don't know why. I just don't. Like, you get in big games, I don't know that I trust him. I think he misses too many throws. There's something, I don't know how to pinpoint it.
He presses way too much.
I just don't trust him. That's a good point. It's kind of what Sills used to give credit to Hurts for. He feels his way around a game well. That's what I feel like he's got a really big advantage over Lamar with.
He does. He sees the game better.
Yeah.
He does. Joe Burrow. Brock Purdy.
Good one. Shit, that's tough. I think Brock is underrated. And I've consistently said that. But the problem with Brock is you really needed to work around. We really needed to be perfect around him. You can maybe make that argument with Hurts, but
yeah.
Who you taking?
I'm taking Purdy.
I can't go push on too many of these. I don't want to go push here. Give me Jalen.
Okay. How about Jaden Daniels?
I do not like Jaden Daniels as much as you do.
You mean everyone else does too?
That's fine. I'm good to stand on my island.
Okay.
Give me Jalen.
Okay. So I've got about 15 guys that I have that are better than that guy.
That's exactly what I said. He's 10 to 15.
That's in the middle of the league. I keep hearing people telling me he's top 5, top 10.
Dude, wait. The only people you hear saying that are the greatness of M. Reyes. That is it. M. Reyes and a couple other guys in here. That's it. You don't hear any national guys saying that.
I just like
in order to be overrated, you need to be more highly rated by the vast majority of folks who do the rating.
Then why is he one of the most criticized guys?
Because he's got a controversial style of play. I mean, look, I think there's a reason that what you say about Jalen pisses people off so much. And it's partly your delivery and it's partly the big show play. But it's also like, somebody said this to me, and it was really perfect. And I feel like most people who are Hurts fans in here will understand this. It was Caleb on our post game show. Caleb Brandon, O-line guru is what he went by. He's a big Hurts guy. He's a Hurts guy. But he said to me, he said, the thing about Hurts that's hard to gauge is this. It's not a style of play that anybody likes. Not fans, not players, not coaches, not other quarterbacks. Most people would not choose to play that way. But his results have been what they are. But when it doesn't go well and you don't win, it's so easy to criticize because you're like, the passing sucks. The game is ugly. They can't do this. They don't do this. But you got to take the good with the bad.
You know what? You just did something that I'm going to remind you of. Listen to this. You fucking made me go back to what a coach told me years ago about that style of play. So we were game planning against the 49ers one year. And I'll never forget the defensive coordinator saying this. Christ, I hope that Young doesn't play. Montana was in the building.
Right.
And we all looked over, and I played against Steve, and he goes, dude, that guy breaks your fucking back when he runs. You know, the harder the guys to play against, nobody wanted to play against Steve Young because he would break your back with his wheels. Montana, you knew where he was, but he was just so special that he didn't have to run. Joe was so great in the pocket, dude. But Young, hey, dude, you got to YouTube him. He kicked off on a 45-yard run against the Vikings. This guy ran 4.5s, and he had a 70% completion percentage. That's a fucking weapon. It means he never has incompletions, and he's a weapon in the open space. Nobody wanted to play against Steve Young. Nobody. Ask any D coordinator during that time who they'd rather play against. They'd rather play against Montana. But Montana would just dice your ass up. It's a great – it reminded me of what – dude, nobody wanted to see Steve Young get on the field because he was – I mean, and that's kind of – but it's changing what hurts, though, because the less he runs, the less he is effective.
Well, and that's why, you know, if you remember at the start of the offseason, that was the number one thing I wrote down. You know, it's
what version of Hurts?
What version of Jalen are we getting? You know, and I think that's a fair question for anybody to ask.
I think it's a bigger question now.
I agree absolutely. I mean, you can't run these offense. You can't run this offense. You can't play Eagle football right now without Jalen Hurts using his legs. I mean, in a way, it's a blessing and a curse for him, right? I mean, he doesn't want to do it. I understand it. He wants to extend his career. That makes perfect logical sense to me.
It does.
At the end of the day, you know, they built around that, you know? So you got to give them that. You have to give that advantage. So we'll see, man. We'll see what ends up happening with it.
Hey, by the way, we're going to read the supers here in a second. I just got a text message from Cardano. He goes, man, it took some Stundines to ask those questions to Doug Pederson like that.
Tell Mike to syndicate our article. He's going to start syndicating our JAKIB article.
That's great. Great.
Yeah.
I already told him you're my Eagle guy.
Yeah, we'll tell him. They're working on syndicating we want to syndicate our articles with them. They want to pull our articles from our new website.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's
so we'll do that. So.
I'm so happy that our relationship.
Sports Grid is a great company. I really like the people who run Sports Grid.
I like the fact that we're kind of getting intertwined there because guess what, folks? I got to tell you guys about these two dudes, Zander and his old man. He's been telling these two have been telling Mike for the last 5 years. This fucking guy, your dad too, especially. Now all of a sudden. You know what he's sending me? He's going like this. You're sensational. I'm going like.
I told Mike. We told Mike that at
5 years ago.
Yeah, back at the postgame show when Sports Grid produced our postgame show.
Yes, 5 years ago you did that. Let's get to the supers, brother.
All right, here we go. We got some big ones today. Shout out to the legend Dio. Look, he gave 2 50s and a gift of 10 memberships. Dio, thank you, brother. Let's go to here. Here it goes. I live in rural Washington on the Olympic Peninsula. I'm a shellfish farmer. Geoduck clams. I moved to Washington to be closer to my daughter, whose mother lives on Vancouver Island. I was raised in Hills of Virginia. I am the furthest thing from a left coaster. You're a left coaster now, my friend.
Holy cow, brother. Dio. So you're a shellfish guy. So let's see, lobsters. That's West Coast. Do you get them up there, or is it like oyster?
Right? You did
What's
that. You did that in Connecticut, right? When you
were I was a lobster man with my grandpa. Yeah, we used to go out on a boat all the time. 250 pots every other day. I did that for my entire life. That's how I used to get in shape. I used to get in shape. We'd have to lift 250 pots. And when the pots got stuck 20, 30 feet underneath, guess who had to go down and untie them from the rocks? I'm diving down with a snorkel, and I'm going down and getting these lobster pots. Oh, my God. I was a fisher, bro, a real live fisherman for like a long time. And it was hard-ass work. Hard-ass work, dude.
I bet.
My God. I mean, clamming and lobstering and fish. Oh, my God. We get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we wouldn't get back till 6 o'clock at night. My back was as red as that super chat right there.
Yeah, good one. All right, here we go. Theo, thank you, dude. I appreciate you, man. Kimberly, what's up, Kimberly? Zay, could you imagine Doug as head coach of Bama? I'd cry. I would be thrilled.
Oh, my God. That would be
I
incredible.
don't know if Doug would, I wonder if Doug would want to do the college game. The college game, dude, this college game is hard.
Yeah, but you got more control.
I know, but dude, you got to walk into fucking people's homes. You got to go into living rooms and shit. I mean, it's a different game, dude. It's a different.
I got to tell you, man, I'm disappointed in Jeff Stoutland a little bit. If all this is true, Zander, you know what I mean?
I'm disappointed in it. I think
that it was him that just he didn't want to listen to the head coach.
Yeah, but isn't that a little inconsistent? I mean, you.
I agree. I get it. Yeah.
Maybe he thinks like you. Maybe he thinks Nick is a beta fish.
I think he thinks that. I don't think he respects him. I think he likes him. I don't think he respects him.
My brother.
Wouldn't do that. I don't think he would do that shit to Doug. My
brother was at a work party a year ago. He's the CEO of Radical AI in New York. They had a work party for last Christmas. So they did, I guess, what's it called when everybody brings a gift and you don't give it for one person, but there's like, you go home with one. Oh, the white elephant or one of those.
No, it's something like something Christmas. What is that?
Yeah, called? It's the work version of it. Right?
Yeah.
So my brother picks a gift and he opens it up and it's a beta fish.
Oh, it's like a blind Christmas, I think it is. Or Secret Santa. Secret Santa.
My brother literally says, who the fuck?
A beta fish.
So he walks outside after the party in New York. They're right in Manhattan is where their business is. And he gives it to the first person in Manhattan who was willing to take the beta fish from him.
Oh my God!
He left it with them with a man in Manhattan who might still be living with that beta fish.
Hey, listen, did you ever see that movie, The Other Guys, with Will Ferrell and
I've heard it. I've never seen it.
Okay.
I'm not a big
so he gives him a present. Some of you probably have seen it in there. He gives him a present, and he goes, FBI, something body inspector, female body inspector. And he looks at it and he goes, you gave me this? And the guy goes, yeah, it's a gift. It's a Christmas gift. He opens his window and he throws it out. And he goes like this, don't ever give a guy a gift.
That's true. That's true. There's some truth in that, Sills.
I got you, man. I thought that guy gave 3 of those 50s.
We're getting them. We got 2 of them. Here's Ramir. What's up, Ramir? Don't talk about Josh without adding Mahomes' teams.
What's that mean?
I'm not sure. Got my tickets. Let's go, Eagle, all day. I don't know what we're down to.
Hey, get the number up. What's the number?
We had 17, but that was
no way. There's
an
no
hour
way.
and a half ago.
There's no way that's 17. There's no way. There's no way there's 17 left. I guarantee you, people in here right now, I guarantee you that thing's down near 9.
I don't know where it is. Get your text in. Text Joe Krause 267-261-3428. And say you want to go to the Eagles home opener with JAKIB Nation. All right.
Come on, sell this thing out now. Make me look
$100. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm dense. I leave the home and I shit $100 like it's my job. I mean, I am immune to the spending of $100.
You could go on the road right now. Go get milk, some meat, some pork chops, some rice, some wings, some beer, and that's $100.
Well, Johnny Mack said it this morning. He's like, $100 to get in. It's $60 to park.
Yeah, it's $60, bro.
The parking's gotten crazy. You know, I got my boys all live down in South Philly, right on the in the row home to South Philly.
That's when
I park at their house, man. I'm not paying $60 for the lot.
You use his lawn, right?
Yeah, exactly. Here's Theo with 10 memberships. Theo, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Here's Theo again. Thank you. I got my 2 tickets, so I'll see you there. Go 2-time Super Bowl champion Birds and JAKIB Nation. He's throwing that 2X Super Bowl champs in there.
Hey, listen to this. So Zander yesterday, after the old man comes on at 5, right? Nick and Zander goes, "Hey, Sills mentioned it on the way out. 5 seconds. You dumbass, you forgot it." And I'm like, God dang, man. Hey, man. I got the memory of a rock right now, dude. Not good.
Here is Nick. What's up, Nick? Send AJ to the Patriots. For a 2027 first, they'll have one of the hardest schedules next year. It's actually not a bad play.
Hey, dude, do you want the first this year or next year?
They're not going to be able to get it this year because they can't. There's no trade that's happening without them designating it post June 1.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So they're not going to be able to trade for a draft pick this year. Now, I could see a draft day trade for a future pick.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see a trade for – they're not going to do that.
Do you make the trade before the draft or after the draft?
Well, in a way, it almost makes it easier, doesn't it? I mean, you might want to make the trade before the draft because, you know, this is where Howie's going to have to listen to our segment on who we think are going to be the stiffs of the league and try and get one of those teams.
Hey, am I right when I say this, that did they trade AJ the day of the draft?
Yeah, on the draft.
On the draft. Okay. Did they do it at the pick? Did they do it at the pick?
At the pick. I think it was pick 18 overall, if I'm not mistaken.
With New Orleans, right?
No, with Tennessee.
Tennessee, that's right. But no, it was the New Orleans pick though from the year.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That was actually the year. Those couple year stretches, Howie really shaking.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, he got a shitload of picks. So, hey, real quick before you read some more here, listen to this.
I think that's our last one. You're good.
Okay, listen, Tyler Linderbaum, Trey Hendrickson. Like, I don't really like Pete Prisco, but I think he does great work for CBS. So here are the top 100 free agents. I won't read them all, but Tyler Linderbaum, number 1. Trey Hendrickson, 2. Pickens is going to be franchised, they said. Alec Pierce, wideout. Alec Pierce, AJ Brown. Yeah.
Jeez.
Jalen Watson. Jalen Phillips is 6th.
Yeah, and he's really like 4th because a couple of those guys are probably not even going to hit the market.
Kyle Pitts is going to be franchise tagged by the Falcons, I heard.
You know who I'm stone cold sick of? I don't know why I just am. I am stone cold sick of this guy, Trey Hendrickson. I feel like this dude's crying up a storm every freaking offseason. Every offseason. Dude, I don't know. I'm just done listening to that guy. I really am.
I'm done with him. I really am. So here are the Eagles. So you got Jalen Phillips at 6. And you go down a little ways, and I'm looking for another Philadelphia Eagle, and I'm going like, where's the next guy? Kobe Dean's 34th. By the way, it's all but for sure now he's gone, right?
Who, Nakobe?
Yeah. I mean, he laid the work out here the last couple days.
I know. Yeah, that's
and it seems that Goddard's coming back potentially.
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, I think the tough part with Goddard versus Nakobe is they got the guys that were. I mean, if Nakobe leaves, there's no fire alarm sounding.
No,
I mean, you don't want him to leave, but there's no. If Goddard leaves, hello, is there anybody out there in the tight end room? I mean, there's nobody out there, dude. You know, so.
And they're franchise tagging. What's his name? Cal Pitts.
Yeah,
Cal Pitts. Right. The Atlanta Falcons. I think that's 17-4, something like that. So, did we get them all, Z?
I think we got one more. Let me see.
Okay.
There we go. Pietas. Hey, Pietas. He says, you keep asking what version of Hurts you're getting. My question is, what if that version of Hurts' wheels are no longer there? Well, that's a problem, Pietas, but that's what I think has happened.
Then you're getting Tyrod Taylor.
No. You love to sensationalize.
You get Tyrod Taylor.
You love the
I'll tell you what. I'll make this comment to you. If Jalen Hurts doesn't run, he ain't better than Kyler Murray.
Are you walking back your overrated comment that after I actually absolutely took you to the woodshed?
Oh. No, I'm not. I think he's overrated.
I took you to the fucking woodshed, my guy. You're still cleaning up the scraps out
How
back.
about this? Hey, Piedis, if that guy doesn't run, Kyler Murray's better.
No, it's not, dude. Dude, you wouldn't take Kyler Murray on Jalen Hurts' worst day.
If Jalen Hurts doesn't run, yeah.
No, you would not.
Yeah, I would.
You're lying through your teeth.
Okay, wait. Kyler Murray, I told you, man. Kyler Murray, you're wrong, dude.
Dude, Kyler Murray's a stiff.
Okay,
worst number one overall pick in the last decade.
Okay, let's see here. If he's a stiff.
Is there a worst number one overall pick in the last decade?
So Kyler Murray's thrown for 39.71 and 26 touchdowns, 37.87 and 24 touchdowns, 38.51 and 25 touchdowns. He's thrown for 558 attempts, more than Hurts has ever done in his entire career. He's got 20,000 yards through the air as well. In rushing the football, by the way, he went for 891. He went for 761. He went for 572. I don't know. And he was the AP Rookie of the Year. I don't know. I don't think the guy's bad, and he's 28. If that guy doesn't run, Jalen Hurts is not that great a player. You think, Jalen Hurts is going to win games from the pocket? I don't. Hey, if Kyler Murray doesn't run.
I didn't say that.
What did you say then?
I said he's not better. Kyler Murray's not better than Jalen Hurts.
Okay, well, if that guy doesn't run this year, he is.
Kyler Murray, I would.
By the way, the last time he played the Eagles, he beat them.
I would almost never take Kyler Murray.
I
can't even call people dorks anymore in the chat. The StreamYard blocking my messages.
You're kidding.
What the heck? I'm trying to call somebody a dork. Let me call him a dork. I'm not allowed to call somebody a dork? There we go.
How about a ding dong? How about a ding dong?
Dork. It's a classic word. I mean, nobody likes being called a dork.
That's probably why Denny, I wouldn't take him, because he's 5'6".
Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, no good. No 5'6".
Yeah.
Man, Dougie, getting ridiculed by Jeffrey Lurie and Howie on why you win a playoff game 17-14. You see me sneak. Yeah, you see me sneak in.
From John.
You see me sneak in. Hey, Press Taylor got a gig.
Yeah. Did you see? I'm surprised you didn't pick up on what McMullen said about Howie kind of distancing himself from the conversation about him making all the moves. Like John said, there was a concerted effort this year of Howie to be like, guys, like, I know you think I have all the power. Like, I had nothing to do with the coaching staff.
So he doesn't want his hands on the body.
Well, I actually think that this has been a narrative that has gotten wrong on Howie. Like, I don't think Howie ever did everything on the or even that much on the coaching staff. You know, that's what John's been telling me for years.
What's he doing sitting in meetings?
Well, how do you think you become a great GM? I mean, you got to have an understanding of each room and each player and everything. I mean,
so he's involved in the game plan.
He's not involved in the game plan, I don't think.
Well, what's he doing in the room?
Why? Where did you hear he was in the room?
I hear him all the time. Nick saying, "Howie's always with us. He's always in the room. He's with us here. We're going over game plans. The great players." I also heard the fact that Howie Roseman is the guy who has the active rosters for Sundays. One of the things that Doug Pederson hated Howie doing, telling him.
Now that I could say because that's roster management.
Fuck, I forgot to add. That's the next. That's the next time. Hey, did Howie dictate to you who was going to play on Sundays?
I feel like Doug. It seemed to me like Doug still likes the Eagles organization.
Oh, absolutely. No way.
It doesn't seem like
dude, he's got the gear. He's got the watch. No way. No way.
Yeah, but how do you not? I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think time heals that. I do,
but
because it
I
was
felt
really
like they disrespected them.
It was really weird.
Yeah, it was. Like, it was
Yeah.
disrespectful to Doug, I thought, at least. I mean, the way they
Out the
handled
door?
it. 16 days after the season ends or whatever it was, 13 days after the season ends, not even giving him an opportunity to pick his coaches. By the way, both of the coaches that he wanted to pick that he got fired over are both successful now. I mean, not Press Taylor, he's not all that successful, but he's still in the league. He just got another job. And Matt Burke is the stud defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, who were the best defense in football this year. So, I mean, it wasn't all shit, but I agree, Kim. He's a class act. He actually really is.
I couldn't believe he answered all those questions. I had a word him a right way too, and if you noticed,
hey, you have your way of doing it. You are a great interviewer. You are a very exceptional interviewer.
Mike was watching too, and he's like, "What's Stundeens?" And I went, "No. Here's the key. Nice one, tough one. Nice one, tough one.
Right.
Tough one, tougher one. Nice one. Where's the ring?
You got to break their guard down, right? You got
That's
to
right, baby. And everyone knows it. Like, wheel you in. All right, Z. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Boy, I tell you what, Sills, you're off to a bad start for the 26th season, my friend. You might want to go to the drawing board tonight.
With what? Off to a bad one. With one.
Jalen Hurts
AJ's being traded.
Overrated quarterback is egregious comment.
Oh yeah, well,
7 games. That's what you said. 7 games. You said 7 wins.
7 games, and Hurts is the most overrated QB in the league. Yeah,
7 wins. Is that your first official prediction for the year? 7 wins.
Yes,
you can't make that before the draft and free agency. What if they go and trade for Max Crosby?
Okay, then it changes.
Right.
Okay, I still got time to adjust.
Yeah, you can modify. That's for sure.
Okay, yep. 7 wins as of today, and if you trade AJ, Nick will be fired by week 11.
I thought you were going to say 4. I thought you were going to say 4. Remember, Jeffrey almost did it at week 4 and 24. So maybe
they won the Super Bowl that year.
Oh, Sig Lord one's at one upshoot. He says 5 wins max. Oh man, is Eagle Nation, are they losing their confidence?
That's a great topic. Have you lost your confidence in Jalen or Nick at all?
I still feel like they're going to be a double-digit win team. So
Nick, what John said that the owner doesn't. It was his opinion. Doesn't have the same love affair. Okay, that he had once when he gave him the contract. Now I'll tell you this, Anna. If I gave somebody $250 million, I'd be in love with them no matter what. Hey,
or
dude.
the opposite. You might have buyer's remorse. Like I gave
buyer's remorse.
now you can never do enough. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Brother, I will see you tomorrow on Birds 365. Keep up the great work.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. See you, Sills.
You got it, brother. That's my boy right there, Zander Krause. Make sure you guys check him out on Birds 365. All right, let me pay some bills here. The number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason is our friends at Morgan & Morgan. They are number one because why? They win. Folks, the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650K ended up coming out and getting $30 million in a settlement. Same with the family in Florida that was initially offered $350K. They ended up getting nearly $12 million. Do me a favor. It's family-owned and family-run. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you very much doing that, man. Thank you, guys. I had a conversation with Drew Rosenhaus, and I had one last night with him, so I'll tell you about that here in a second. Penalties killed us went from 7th best to 6th worst in 1 year. 38 flags, killed first downs. Twiz, that's why you ended up losing 1st and 2nd down, and why 3rd and long and those 3 and outs became a problem the entire season. Sills, how hard is it moving from tight end to tackle like Jason Peters did? Insane, completely different skill sets. I mean, that's a great athlete. Jason Peters is a phenomenal athlete. Seals, you killed it today with Dougie Pete. Thanks for that. Hey, dude, honest to God, I put those guys on for you guys. Okay? People you want to hear. Not just people that I don't like things called segment killers. I mean, like I said, you know, like how great that Zander's turning out. Dude, I don't put just anybody on my program. I mean, take a look at my weekend show, what we had on. I don't put anybody on my show. If you're a nobody, I don't put you on. Or if I try to help somebody to get their start, I'll do that. But I don't put anybody on. And I kind of gradually want to see how you do. Zander took you to the woodshed today. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll find out how it works out. Let's see if your boy doesn't get demoted, by the way, by the end of the year. Let's see this new offense, how Jalen Hurts. Why do you think I said Jalen Hurts is the most overrated quarterback? Because I don't believe he's going to handle the offense. And that'll be proved out. Today, on March 24th, you could say whatever you want, Gabe. And you could do whatever you want. And by the way, one thing's for sure, I'm not talking about his resume. I'm talking about his skill set. He's overrated. He's not that great in the pocket. Guy takes 40 sacks a year. He throws for 3,200 yards a year. Throws for 23 touchdowns. I don't know. It's Jacoby Brissett numbers. Okay? It's incredible what he did, Jason Peters. Sills, now that Christian Parker's gone, does he bring back Gardner Johnson? Dude, listen, Gardner Johnson's a hell of a player, and he's a winner. Get this. What would you rather have, a winner or a headache on your football team? Okay? Seals, you're the best, man. Wait, no. I wanted to get this guy. Thank you, Abe. Does Murray make his team better? Not. Bad take by Sills. Has anybody made the Arizona Cardinals better? Name me one player that's made the Arizona Cardinals better. Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer. Give me another one. Since they've been in Arizona, name me one quarterback that has made the Arizona Cardinals better. By the way, did win 10 games a couple of years there with Cliff Kingsbury. Kurt Warner, the entire time since they've been in Arizona. Carson Palmer didn't do shit. Marvin Harrison hasn't done shit. Who else? What quarterback has made them a great place? The Bidwells suck as owners. They're horrible. They're in the same room with the Dolphin owner, Stephen Ross, and the guy up in New York with the Jets. Name me a guy. Okay? You know, I'll buy this one. Murray won 12 games, 21-22. Dude is good. Bad habits, I agree with that. Yeah, what did Jake Plummer do? What did Jake Plummer do? Not a quarterback, but Fitzgerald was pretty good. Had no impact on winning. Larry Fitzgerald is the Tim Brown of Hall of Famers. A lot of numbers, a lot of catches, horrible teams. Congratulations. Cardinals had a kicker in the 90s. Okay. Sure. Yeah, okay. Marvin Harrison and Brian Thomas look like two dudes that could use a fresh start. Well, look at where they are. They're in Jacksonville in Arizona. I mean, Jacksonville had a great year, but let's see if Jacksonville can do it 2 years in a row. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is the Tim Brown of the Hall of Fame. Bunch of numbers, no impact. By the way, think about it, Akbar. Can you remember? Aeneas Williams was really great. I'll give you that. And had great games on Michael Irvin. Akbar, think about this. Can you name me a moment in Tim Brown's career that you remember, a sensational catch or a great game that was an impactful game that Tim Brown had? The Hall of Fame wideout? Can you name me one? Name me one moment that you remember in Tim Brown's career. I can't remember one. And here, get this. To show you how crazy that take is, like he said. Look at Tim Brown's numbers. Look at this. Tim Brown played 17 years. Had 14,934 yards. Had 100 touchdowns. Had 1,094 catches. Akbar, can you remember any one of those catches? Can you name me any one of those catches that you went like this? Shit. Really good player. Really, really, really good player. Okay? Dude, Arizona. You're making the Arizona Cardinals sound like, what, they're the Bears? Tim Brown hosts a mentor minicamp every year at the Department's Academy. Cool. I never said he wasn't a good dude. Nope, Sills, just like the kid from the Texans. So now you're picking on my Hurricane guys. Okay? I don't remember him doing anything against us. Hey, Tim Brown, we own that guy. He was a non-factor. Yards against Miami Hurricanes. Here. Tim Brown, in the 87 game when we played against him, he had 3 catches for 37 yards. The performance was significant. Get this. The performance was a significant drop since he was averaging 175 yards per game that season. We held him to like 37 yards. Shit, in 87, I think he won the Heisman. He won the Heisman. He had 37 yards against us. You still on live? 5? No, I don't do 5 hours. I could. Dan Marino, great arm, great stats, never can win the big game. That's not the case. Oh, you're laughing. I got it. Sills, I hear you say players get overdrafted. If there aren't a lot of quarterbacks in the upcoming draft, does that mean that second, third, and fourth rounders move up, get overdrafted? Is that good or bad? It's a great take. Look at Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is underdrafted. It's a great pick. Mauro Jomo was a great pick. Mauro Jomo was a great pick. I would say that Malata's a great pick. Carter's probably right where he needs to be. Davis is overdrafted. Should be a little lower. He's not the 13th player. He's not Fletcher Cox. Devontae's overdrafted. AJ's underdrafted. I would say Campbell's probably, well, we need to see a little more from him. Quinyon Mitchell's way underdrafted. Mitchell's way underdrafted. Way underdrafted. I like the kid, but I'm not sure he's really good at the point of attack. Like in the NFC East, is that guy going to be, if they're going to improve the run game and try to improve the run game? Why can't the Buffalo Bills develop like the Eagles? Coaching. Player drafting. Brandon Beane's terrible. I think Brandon Beane is one of the worst general managers in all of football. You got Josh Allen. That's a failure on the Bills. If the Bills don't win the Super Bowl with Josh Allen, it's on the player and it's on the Bills not putting players around him that are good enough. Sills, when I saw Marino play, he was doing the isotoner commercials, heard all the stuff, but like Jim Kelly, better. And Marino was a little better. Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do, Gabe. I'll do that tomorrow. Okay? And I'll give you a couple guys that will go in like 2, 3, and 4. I love those rounds. That's where you make the majority of your football team is like 2, 3, and 4. First rounders I think it's overhyped. By the way, the first player in the draft, Fernando Mendoza, that guy's not a first rounder. So how do Fletcher Cox's numbers compared in the first 3 seasons? I think Fletcher was better. Had 6.5 sacks his first year, I think. Fletcher was, let me think here. Fletcher had really good numbers his first couple years. And I don't really think Jordan really did. Fletcher Cox. Great player, man. I when I first came to JAKIB, I told you guys, man, he's one of my favorite players. 5'3", 4'9". Kind of the same, a little bit. But here, at 70 sacks from interior, that's not bad. 5.5, 3, 4, 9.5, 6.5, 5.5, 10.5. Tremendous. 3.5, 6.5. Man, his last 2 years playing interior defensive tackle. Guy had 13 sacks in 2 years. It's not bad. He was really a great player. 71 tackles he had. I see where you see the comparisons. I do. All right, guys, I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow going 2 to 6, and we'll see you on the flip side.